Welcome in and thanks for joining today's Stream Elements. Welcome in and thanks for joining today, Matt.
Do it! Just do it! Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true! Nothing is impossible! No, what are you waiting for? Do it! Just do it! Yes, you can!
Yes, I can.
Welcome in and thanks for joining today, Clarkio. Welcome in and thanks for joining today, Clarkio. Welcome in and thanks for joining today, SMC_May_I.
Hello, hello. Good to see you all. Welcome in, welcome in. Hello here, I am Matt.
Welcome in and thanks for joining today, Matt.
Bought a new jacket suit the other day and it burst into flames. Well, it was a blazer. Boom. There it is. Oh, I'm glad I'm here too. All right, how we doing today, chat? Let's get rolling. It is Friday. I don't have the auto scene change set up, and I'm not gonna. So it is what it is. Here we go. What does this button do? Nothing. What? Rug mat, nice pyramid. Woo! Yeah. Welcome in, welcome in. Happy Friday, happy Friday.
Welcome in and thanks for joining today, Freakberg.
This is peak Twitch content. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you to have all of you here for the early bird dance special that you just witnessed. Welcome into the Clarkio Shenanigan Show every Friday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time right here on twitch.tv/Clarkio and youtube.com/Clarkio. Clark-I-O if you need the spelling. One day we need to teach TTS to say my name right. Yes, Freakberg. Yes. Happy to have you here. We're going to go through the usual sketch today. Might be an abbreviated stream depending on how my voice does. I don't know if you can kind of hear it, but feeling a little scratchiness in the back of the throat. Don't know. I don't feel sick, but maybe it's the early signs of it. I don't know. Hopefully not. Fingers crossed. So we'll see how things go today. But the plan for today is
Welcome in and thanks for joining today, Wotw.
wins of the week, Wordle and connections, and then a combination of things. What I'm planning on doing is kind of like similar to if you've ever tuned into Pirate Software's stream, which I have frequented from time to time. He does like Q&A via text to speech, but like I don't have a system set up like how he does where it's like queued and then he can play the next one while he's doing other stuff. But my thought was allowing you all to kind of ask your web security, application security questions that you might have, if you have any, and we can kind of talk through those. And then while that's going on, I can work on other stuff like that I wanted to tidy up, things like that, with the stream production and whatnot. So that was my thought process for today, considering how I'm feeling fine, but like my voice is not doing so fine. You know what I mean? That was the thought on that. Why is there an ad already? We'll see about that. Wasabi, great to see you. Welcome in. Happy to have you here. It's going well. How are you? Great to see you, Rugmat, as well. Frackberg. I thought I saw May in here too, chatting. Did I miss anybody else so far? Who's here? If you're here tuning in, if you're just lurking and you don't want to chat, that's fine. I get it. But if you're here to like hang out and chat, let me know. I can give you a hello. Hello. Is it me you're looking for? I can see it in your eyes. All right, so get your wins of the week queued up too. Those of you that are here and enjoy partaking in that, would love to hear about what wins you had this week. I'll talk about mine as well. And then we'll get into the Wordle. Now, Wordle, it's tied up, chat. So for folks that don't know, the way we play Wordle is you want me to lose, essentially. You don't want to give it away. You want to throw me off because you get points every time I mess up. And if I get it in 3 or less guesses, I get points. So that's what we do. And so far, I think it's 12-12. So there's that. This week's hot topic in the dev community seems to be there's a new like social app or social platform for artists called Kara, I think, that apparently went viral or something like that, and they racked up some costs because of going viral, and they're using Vercel for their platform, and Vercel seems to be like constantly under attack.
Welcome in and thanks for joining today,
for their pricing model. Basically, Vercel, which is they're good. They make the developer experience good. Like that's the value add that they have. But they're basically like a middleman on top of AWS Lambda for their stuff. And apparently they charge out the yin yang wizoo for that stuff. So if you don't have proper cost control in there, then you can run into this situation. So I ran across that this week. That seems to be a hot topic. Our YouTube videos for Sneak. I want to show you the intro clip. I'll give you a sneak peek, no pun intended there, of the video that I think I'm going to end up pushing it ahead of Q. It's supposed to maybe be a different video that was supposed to come out this Monday, but I think I'm going to push this one out instead. So that's a win. I'm excited about that. The editing just came back this week, and then the final edit came through today, and I reviewed it, and everything looks good to go. So once I get the final assets on that, we'll get that uploaded and ready for publishing on Monday. But I'll show you a sneak peek of it because I'm really happy with how it came out. As you all know, I put a lot of work and research into this one. It's about a PDF.js vulnerability that is, I think, really important for people to know about and amplify to fix this, to get the patch version. and go from there. So, what'd you miss today, May? What's other wins? I ended up snagging a while back, actually, and it just finally came, the Elgato teleprompter. I got tired of... Well, there's a couple of reasons why I did that. One, my kids or my wife, like, because my wife works from home on Fridays.
Ad is about to start in 5,000 milliseconds on Twitch. There's an ad running for 90.
Alright, let that ad run. But those of you that can still hear me talking about this. So I was constantly using the iPad and this other teleprompter that I had that the iPad would sit in, right? Which all worked fairly well. But I would use the Duet app. Thank you, Frackberg. Let me get to that in just a second. I would use the Duet app exclusively for that because it had like a teleprompter mode where it can become third monitor for me. And then I would like flip it in the right way, like both horizontally and vertically, so that it would be legible through the screen of the teleprompter mirror, essentially. And that worked fine, but it started getting finicky. The Duet apps would crash or freeze on the screen, and like I wouldn't know what was going on. Basically, stuff like that was going on. What was happening with that? So that was a little bit frustrating. And then because I was using the iPad for that, my wife or my kids would want the iPad while I'm streaming and I need the teleprompter, or even like when I'm recording, like I record my videos, I'm using the teleprompter, and so that was a pain in the butt, and so this kind of solved that problem. So, and they had a bundle where I got the Elgato Cold Shoe that goes on top of a camera and the Keylight Mini, which I'm not using right now, but I have it hooked up right above here right now. And that's pretty cool. It's pretty nifty, and like at no additional cost. So I was like, oh, this is a great deal right now to take advantage of while they're doing it. So I snagged that. What else? The other advantage of that is this is so much smaller. Not in the sense of like the screen. Like the screen is about the same, I would say, but it's way more compact, the overall entire setup. So I don't feel like there's a big bulky thing sitting here anymore. It's about, I want to say at least, I don't know, 75% of the size of the previous one. So I like that a lot. It's way more sleek, it's way more compact, and it's way more reliable now. I can just have this third monitor constantly on all the time. So like I throw up other things on there, like my cameras for the security cameras and stuff like that and whatnot, when I'm just not using the teleprompter for other purposes. So that's a win. Happy to have that. It's like a quality of life improvement. I got wireless headphones now that hook up to my Go XLR as like a early Father's Day gift type of thing. I like them a lot. I like that I'm wireless, so I can move around. I don't have some cord on me anymore. And they also can connect to like Bluetooth at the same time, which is great. So I can have my phone hooked up to it and listen to that if calls come in or something. But the one thing is, what I'm hearing right now that you all don't hear is like there's a slight, like when I was, the way it's set up is there's a hub that these connect to. And then I run, but then I use a Go XLR for my XLR mic.
Joining today, talk to Matt Guzman.
Yeah, so talk to me, Gooseman. Let me know what you think about this. You're saying, do you have a dongle to connect to your Go XLR? That's the thing. That's the reason why. One of the reasons why I got these headphones is before I was always using wired headphones. I mean, the headphones I've had previously were all capable of wireless, but not with the Go XLR setup. Like you would have to, I don't know. I forget. There's some ways to like hack around it to make your wireless headphones work with the Go XLR. But these ones come with, this headset comes with a separate, I think they call it a DAC, digital audio controller or something like that, that hooks up via USB to your computer, but then you can get a line into it. That basically my Go XLR goes out from the Go XLR into that. And that way I can hear everything that the Go XLR is controlling through the headphones. The problem with that, though, is my audio for my microphone, there is like, it's so slight to where it doesn't jam me up in the sense of like, I hear myself talking. I like hearing that because I want to know what I sound to you all. However, this is kind of defeating the purpose now because I don't sound the same when I when I use my wired headphones that are going just directly into the Go XLR anymore. So that's the one downside, but I'm like willing to like deal with it for the wireless and the other advantage of them right now. We'll see how it goes. Maybe for streaming I won't use these headphones, but for everything else, like when I'm working on videos and whatnot, listening to music, I'll use these wirelessly so that I can step away from my office and come back. Whereas, because so many times, I can't tell you how many times, chat, where I still have these kind of hooked up, but there's so many times, I'll catch up on all the alerts in just a second here, folks. I appreciate the support though, thank you. There's so many times where these, the ones that you traditionally or typically see me wearing, this wire, which is plenty long enough. It's not a problem with the length of it. It's kind of in the sense of maybe it's too long and that it gets caught up in my chair a lot, or I roll over it on the ground. And when I go to like leave, sometimes I forget to take the headphones off and I'll yank them, or I'll put them down and they get all caught up and I spin the chair and then they go flying off the desk or something like that, right? Not a huge problem, but it happens so much that it's like I'm constantly getting tangled and caught up in it. And that's why I was like, I want to be able to use my stuff wirelessly. I have wireless stuff. Anyway, but my audio, when I listen to myself in the microphone, does not sound the same on these wirelessly through this other interface as they sound like these, which are directly hooked up to the Go XLR. So I have like a 3.5mm audio jack splitter that I would always use between two different headphones, like these headphones and another pair that I used to have. So now what I do is I split from these, like out from the Go XLR to those and to that interface. And that's kind of how I do it right now. Again, though, the only thing that's a snag is that it's like so slight. All the other audio sounds, like there's no echo, but with my voice, there's just the slightest, like maybe 100 millisecond to 250 millisecond like delay. Again, like normally whenever I would have that, like if I ever, that was one of the problems I think why I never tried to do the hacky way of wirelessly listening via the Go XLR, is because the delay would be so much greater, like a half a second, to where like it jams you.
Welcome in and thanks for joining today, X9.
Right, because you've heard of like the audio jammers where it's like people hear themselves like half a second after they say something, and then it really like it like messes with your head and you can't speak almost. You know what I mean? That's what happens with it. And this one, it's so slight that it doesn't mess with me speaking, but it messes with me just because I notice it, at least, so that it's slightly there, right? So it's a pain in the butt in that regard, and I don't think there's any way around it. So, but that's the price you pay. Talk to me, Gooseman says, never mind, you just answered. Okay, cool. Wasabi says, those are some slick headphones. Thank you. I haven't done it yet. I'm waiting to kind of spread expenses out here. That's why I'm delaying on this. But you can get custom ear cushions. Not necessarily custom, but like people make different non-standard ear cushions that you can hook up to these. I need new ones for these because they're starting to get wrecked. They're starting to rip up. The ones that are in here right now, actually, these are replacements from the originals that I had on these. I love these headphones. I take these, I travel with these headphones. Here's the Bose Quiet Comforts that I've had for, I don't know, 8 years, I want to say, something like that. And the original ear cushions lasted probably 5 of those 8 years. And then these are 2 years old, and they're already starting to deteriorate. What I want to do is get and the same with this material, I want to get the non-pleather and more of the fabric style that gives a little bit more airflow and a little bit more comfort. But I found a pair that match the color. You know, you all know I like my branding, the color of my branding. So I found a pair of ear cushions is what I was looking for the Bose that match my branding, and kind of for these too. So I have those saved for later in my cart, type of thing, waiting to spread out expenses a little bit month over month, type of thing. So I would say those are some wins. Getting those set up and quality of life improvements of the overall setup feels good. I like that. What else? Got some good quality time with the family this week. We spent a lot of time at the pool. That was good. Work's going good. Got a lot of my leadership and my skip level have seen the edit I was telling you about of this PDF.js vulnerability, and they're really happy with how it came out. So I'm excited to hear that. That's a plus. You know what's going to be a kicker about this, I think, is I put in all this work on this video, and we're going to publish it, and it's probably going to not do as good as like some other video that was low effort. I'm anticipating that. So, all right, I'm done with my little monologue there. Let me catch up on chat and stuff. So I know we had a couple of alerts go off. Where's my mouse? Right there. First of all, it was way back where? It was Frackberg, right? Frackberg, thank you, sir, for the 52 months resub. Thank you for that continued support. 52 heckin' months. Holy moly. I'll get to the wins of the week in a second here, too. I appreciate everybody dropping in their wins of the week. If you haven't done so already and you feel comfortable doing so, feel free to share your win, whatever win you had. Something positive that happened this week. And then X came in and dropped a resub for 12 months. 12! Man, the reverb and the echo, it hurts. Appreciate that, though. Thank you for the continued support, X. And I think it was May, right? May is who you gifted like 6 months worth to or something like that. That May has always been appreciative, and every month May would announce their resub. They would give you a shout out. So big thank you to you for that as well, X. Thank you for that continued support very much. Just a second, chat. I got a message on my work stuff. Save that for later. Not an urgent thing right now. Okay, cool. All right. Getting into the wins of the week from you all. Well, first of all, Talk to Me Guzman says, never mind, you just answered. That's great. Wasabi says, those are some slick headphones. Thank you. I like them a lot. I'm going to like them more once I get the non-pleather ear cushions. The other thing is, like, I've worn these for long periods of time so far, like a whole day with the glasses. And I noticed my ears at the top start to hurt right where the glasses are. So that's one other bit of feedback or review, if you will, on the short period of time I've had them. I've been wearing the glasses more again because I definitely am noticing that, like, when I'm reading text on the screen, if I don't have the glasses on, it's still really legible. Like, my sight is good, but the edges of the letters are kind of fuzzy, ever so slightly. And the only reason why I noticed this is because when I was like, all right, it's been a while, and I was like, I have them sitting here in front of me, the glasses, and I was like, let me just throw them on and see how they're looking nowadays. And when I did that, I was like, whoa, it just sharpened up the edges on those letters for me. I need to probably wear these more. So if you're wondering why I'm wearing glasses, that's why. All right, catching up on wins of the week here. I think Crackberg was the first to share. Yes, Crackberg says, win of the week. Got my IRL streaming rig mostly working. Going to try for some more outside ride/explore streams going. That's awesome to hear. Congrats on that. And thank you for sharing. Very happy to hear that, Crackberg. Good evening, Pravon. Good to see you. Welcome in. May, what did you mean you missed these today? Oh, did you miss the dance you're saying? That's all good. Glad to have you here, though, May. Wasabi Dev, I thought you were here, though, weren't you? You messaged, like, right at the beginning of the stream. Wasabi Dev says, win of the week, watched my son's second grade class movie premiere. They had a red carpet and everything. It was really neat. Wait, what? They had a second grade class movie. Did they make a movie for second grade? The second grade class? That's so cool. What a great idea. Congrats on that, though. Congrats to your son on finishing up, or getting close to finishing up second grade. And thank you for sharing, Wasabi. Yeah, their class made a movie. Okay, cool. That's awesome. Really cool. Oh, you missed the emotes. Okay. All right, next up I see Pravan sharing the win of the week. Also, Frackberg Wasabi, thank you for sharing, if I didn't say that already. And Pravan, thank you for sharing. Let's read yours. Now, Pravan was debugging something for 2/3 of the week, 2/3 weeks, until Pravan and someone realized that the issue wasn't on Pravan, but on your friend, which made me happy as I realized that I wasn't the dumb one. Well, I guess that's a good thing. Sorry for your friend, but happy for you. Congrats on that, and thank you for sharing. Frackwork says, also shout out to Rambling Geek for helping me with some code / TwitchBot integration. That's awesome. Well, yeah, Rambling Geek's the best. Round of applause for Rambling Geek. Being an awesome community person in the community and helping out, contributing back to the community and helping Frackberg out there. That's great to hear. Pravan's win of the week number 2. Pravan seems to be able to rewrite some stuff from Python to Go, which makes our lives so much easier long term. Our current issue was that that both me and my colleague couldn't get our head around how this Python code was written. Ah, okay. Gotcha. Well, congrats on that. Thanks for sharing a second win of the week, Pravan. That's awesome to hear. That delay would wreck you? Yeah. Talk to me, Gooseman says, ugh, yeah, the cordless latency is annoying. Yeah, if somebody can come up with a way to... I guess one way to do it that just came to me, a realization I just had, is they make those like Bluetooth 3.5mm or whatever it is, you know, the audio jack, the standard audio jack. I have one probably buried somewhere in this closet, my office closet here, with the rest of the wires and electronics that I barely look at but save and hoard. Let me know in the chat if you feel seen, if you feel that too. You're in the same boat. You likely are if you're in the developer or technology here. But they make ones where you can plug in that's like a Bluetooth transmitter and then anything can receive off of it, right? So I wonder if I did that approach all this time. I could have just done that to go wireless. But not with these. Well, these I could actually, because they are Bluetooth capable. I might try that and just get rid of this. Well, the other reason why these headphones are amazing is in the side here is the battery pack, okay? And it comes with 2. And the controller that plugs into the computer has another battery in it. And so you basically have endless supply of battery life for wireless headphones. There's no other wireless headphones that I know of, at least, on the market that do that. And it's absolutely a killer feature if you're in the wireless headphone gang. So heads up on that too. Frackberg says, I got really used to that delay when I worked for the news in the helicopter. I didn't know you worked for the news in the helicopter before, Frackberg. That's cool to hear. Everything we relayed had a repeat delay in my ear. You get used to it. I guess I'll get used to this too. It's still a bit of a struggle right now. Talk to me, Gooseman says, my Surface headphones, earpads fall apart all the time. Found a hack to use the HyperX Cloud earpads on them, which is great. Well, that's interesting to hear. I would like to know more about that. Frackberg says, I love the sound quality of a wired headset, but I love the freedom of Bluetooth so much more. Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like you're getting the best quality wired. But just having the freedom to be wireless, it's just hard to pass up on that. It's just, sacrifice you have to, a balancing act, I guess. Bluetooth is so much more valuable to me than sound quality, especially when it comes to when it comes to work. Yeah, I go back and forth. I like music, but for calls, Bluetooth is where it's at. I need to be able to pace. I want to pay attention. Yeah. He says, yeah, very generous X for the gift of stuff. Okay, I remember that correctly. My glasses are very thin. Yeah, mine are fairly thin too. I don't know if you can tell from here, but if I go that way, you can kind of see that. Yeah, I need glasses when I look at computer screens in close distances. I've accepted the fact that I'm old and need reading glasses now. My wife makes fun of me, says Wasabi. I feel that. I'm feeling that.
Welcome in and thanks for joining today, Steve Kyle.
What's up, Steve Kyle? Good to see you, buddy. How you doing? Frackbrook says, I suppose I should add another one. Sure, go for it. Wasabi says, yeah, the class made a video and premiered it for all the parents. That's such a cool project for second grade. I wonder how they coordinate all that. Did they all have to like make videos with like their parents' phones or something, or did they have like cameras? Was like the school supplied to make the video? That's so. I don't mean to pry. Like, feel free to like just ignore me. But that's being into making videos myself. That's super interesting. And I just don't know how like that would be managed with second graders. You know. Frackberg says, win of the week number 2. Thing 2 officially graduated from high school. I'm finally done. That's congrats to both of you on that. Thank you for sharing. It's got to be an yeah, like Wasabi asked there. How's it feel then, Frackberg? It's got to be an interesting feeling. Time to sell the house and get an RV and travel the country. Says Talk to me, Guzman. Yeah. In this economy, my house is priceless at this point. I know, right? Wasabi says, oh, I feel seen, Clark. I have a drawer, potentially obsolete cords. You have just one drawer? I have one of those like plastic, I don't know, IKEA 3-drawer sets where it's like thin at the top, a thin drawer at the top, and thicker, and then the big, like deep drawer at the bottom. And that's filled with all types of wires, electronics, old CD-ROMs. Why I have those, I don't know. I'm thinking of it right now. I'm like, I don't know why I still have them. I don't know if there's anything on them that I need to worry about. Like, they're ones that you would burn stuff into. Like, maybe I have, like, saved photos on there. You know how, like, do you remember when you used to put photos on, a DVD so that you can, like, load it and show it up in, like, a, I don't know, presentation? Not like a presentation for work, but, like you're at a family event and you'd have, like, the photos cycling. You know, instead of those ones where they put the little, oh, man, the projector with the rotating image. I don't remember what those were called, but you'd get those like the microscopic version of your pictures, so that you could slot into this cylinder that would just automatically slide between pictures. You remember those? And then I think we moved to like DVD/CDs where you'd load the images on there, if I'm recalling correctly. Somebody tell me if I'm right here. Am I recalling correctly? Is that what we used to do? So, do you even have a disk drive? No, I don't. Not on this. Not on my last 2 PCs. Not on any laptop that I have here. I don't know how I would ever actually check them now. Shit. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't have a way of checking what's on them to know if I should get rid of them or not. A slideshow projector. Yes, Steve Kyle, exactly. So yeah, Wasabi. Not just, I mean, props to you is what I'm getting at. I commend you for only having one drawer of potentially obsolete cords. Are we doing Wordle? Yes, we will be doing Wordle. Rugmat. Wordle's dad joke of the day. How do you know if there's an elephant under your bed? Your head hits the ceiling. Is that using the kenhasdadjokes.com API? Because no, I'm not even kidding. I got to show you this. All right, we're going to skip ahead real quick. I'll catch up with you all that sent messages in just a second here. So I was talking about this video. I think you all saw me do this too when I was researching this on stream 2 streams ago. Pause the music, Jimbo. Okay, hold on. Let's make this full screen. Switch scenes here. So this is the video for context for everybody that maybe isn't familiar. So for like a week, not this past week, but the week before, I spent like all of my time researching this vulnerability in a library called PDF.js. And basically, the short of it is like an attacker could change the way the PDF is defined behind the scenes, the innards of it, and get it to execute code whenever somebody tried to open it up and render it in whatever app or website or anything that's using this PDF.js library. Okay, so that's the short of it, and I made a video on that. And as part of the video, I created a demo that would show how you can use that vulnerability and exploit it. And one of the examples I put in the demo that some of you probably saw in the past stream when I was doing the research on stream, I make a fetch request from a PDF file, basically from the inside of a PDF file, to the Ken Has Dad Jokes API, and that exact dad joke came up. So I do want to show you all the intro of this because I think it came out great, but I got to find the point in time where the dad joke gets shown. This is proof. This was not pre-planned, but the funny thing is that same dad joke just came up. It's like a weird coincidence. That's the Hello World one. I think it's in this one. Yeah, he is not amused. Okay, so it's right around here. Nothing seems to be happening, but if I open up the developer tools, so developer, toggle developer tools from the command palette in VS Code, we can see it did in. How do you know if there's an elephant under your bed? Your head hits the ceiling. The RNG on that, you know? That's kind of funny, Rugmat. I just had to call that out. All right, we'll get back to catching up on chat. I'll show more of that video shortly. But that's pretty funny. What happens when you anger a brain surgeon? They will give you a piece of your mind. All right, Fragper says, "LOL, yes, I used to be a local news photographer. I shot video that won the station an Emmy." Oh, snap. That's awesome, Fragper. That's huge, man. We're in the presence of TV royalty pod. Yeah, talk to me, Gooseman. Fragper says, "If you watched any of NBC's coverage of the Super Bowl that was hosted here years ago, you probably saw some video I shot." Nice. That's awesome, man. Fragper said, "I don't know. Commencement was Wednesday, so mostly it just feels like I'm unemployed still." Fair enough. Wasabi says, "Yeah, the movie was filmed during the school day with the teacher. It's Arts Magnet School." Oh, okay, got you. Very cool. What's up, Dabinko? Welcome in. Happy to have you here. What kind of headphones are those? These are the Arctis Nova series. It is the Ken Has That Joke API. Okay, yeah. Wow, that's crazy. Rugman says your Chrome key is going weird. Chroma key is doing weird things to your glasses. Yeah. Rugman is secretly an advanced AI using data jokes API exposed. Yeah. All right, we're caught up on chat there. If you have more wins of the week, let us know. Love to hear it. Starting off on a positive note, I shared some of mine already. A lot of folks shared theirs in the community. If you have more, let us know. No pressure though. All right, I want to show you the beginning of this video because I described it last time we talked about this topic. But this is how it came out with the editing team. So he learned it from Triple B that coded so many bots, one became self-aware. Yeah, yeah, Frackberg. All right, so here's the intro to this video that I'm planning on releasing for work on Monday.
You can't find me, ha 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 ha. You can't find me, ha 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 ha. You can't find me, ha 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 ha.
What do you think, chat? Pretty good? Only 20 seconds long. I think it's eye-catching. I think it's eye-catchy. And then we get into it. A vulnerability was discovered in the widely used library pdf.js. This library is used to manage and view PDFs, which impacts Mozilla browsers and any web or client applications that depend upon that library, whether it's directly or indirectly. And this includes desktop applications that use web technologies like Electron or Tori. So let's jump right into it. All right, first up. And that's it. That's how it kicks off. I found you, twitch.tv/Clarkio. Boom. What do you mean? What do you mean, Frackberg? You found me. I'm here. Your video said, haha, you can't find me. Oh. Well, that's the thing. So part of it's kind of like confusing, I think, because you don't know why that's happening necessarily. But essentially, I created a
An ad is about to start in 5,000 milliseconds on Twitch. There's an ad running for 90.
Was it .com? I created a gist because I thought this would be a fun way to like prank a coworker or something. Essentially, if you think about the scenario, if I can get a coworker to open up the PDF that has this vulnerability, this attack built into it, leveraging the vulnerability, and assuming they open it up in some type of PDF viewer, whether it's an old version of Mozilla that they haven't updated yet, or they're using an app, or maybe they're using one of those extensions in VS Code that render the PDF within VS Code so you could see it, it'll start playing this in the background, and they'll never know why, but basically I would obviously, I intentionally for the video made it so that it was like after 5 seconds it starts playing it, but like it'd be a fun prank, like after like, I don't know, 5 minutes you get it to start playing it and they're just like, what the hell, like, and then they can't find what it is that, you ever have those tabs open where you're like, which one is the one that's playing music, which one is the one that's talking and playing a video or something like that, right? So the idea is we're using the speech synthesizer that's built into a lot of browsers, and you get it to just say something over and over again on an interval. So that was the idea behind that. It's like a prank type of attack. So in case you didn't catch that and didn't know that, that's what's going on there. So all right, so what are we going to do today? What are we going to do now? We're going to get into a Wordle. Keep in mind that I am playing against you all in that regard. Now, I have to confess, I forget exactly what Rugmat said, but whenever I see somebody share, let me bring it up here. Whenever I see like an extra bit of text, I naturally want to click on that. So I did, like I just, it's kind of like one of those things where, like a phishing attack almost, where you like entice somebody to click on something. That always gets me. Whenever it's not the non-standard like hidden text for a Wordle thing. So it kind of spoiled it for me. So I'm going to leave it up to you, chat. Actually, do I want to leave it up to you? I guess let's make the decision today, right now, before I even start the Wordle.
Thanks for joining today, Janice Crew 7.
The word is banana. What's up, Yanni? Oh, sorry, I missed the high five there. I think rude is the word you're looking for. That's devious. Oh, you're talking about the vulnerability exploit. Yeah. That is devious. Yes, sir. Trolling people. My favorite was to go to meetings. My favorite was to get on meetings and route in random Slack noise audio. Oh, dude. That's a great way to troll people. Ooh, I should do that in my next work meeting. The word is banana. Very funny. All right, so here's exactly, Rugman, spoilers. So, look, Ma, I'm on stream. So, I already looked at this. I knew it said something about fruit. I vaguely remember. I don't remember the specifics. So, I don't know how much that's giving it away or not. So, those of you that did the Wordle already, you help decide. Do we want to count today or do we not want to count today? So I'm not going to wait until I start doing it, because maybe you're going to naturally want to count it if it takes me more than 3. But if I get it in less than 3, you're going to be like, BS, you cheated, right? So what are your thoughts, chat? YouTube has a ton of videos that are X hours of silence with random messenger app notification. Really? That's funny. Parkio, don't look at this. I mean, I already did earlier. Like this morning. Because I have like a natural routine. And it's typically do the Wordle like in the mornings. And so I always catch myself on Fridays because I'm like, wait a minute, it's Friday. Don't do the Wordle. You can go weird with it. I use the Taco Bell gong ones. That's too funny, man. BusySimulator.com? What's that about, Rugmat? I say we reap what you sow. If you get it, you get it. All right, we got one vote for that. Any other people that want to provide some input on this? So the situation is, for folks that don't know, I got to guess the Wordle in 3 or less guesses, and I get a point. If it takes me more than that, you all get a point. And if I fail completely, you get 3 points. And last stream, I tied it up. Got it down 12 to 12. So this is really like a tiebreaker situation where I can take the lead, or you all can take the lead, depending on how things go. However, I did see what Rugmat put in here. So there's that. I don't play Wordle, so no vote for me. No as in...
And thanks for joining today. Huggins 7278.
Huggins says if you one-shot it, you should get 1,000. It's good to see you, by the way. Thank you for being here. I should get 1,000 points since I always use the same word. True. But I don't know if you were here when we discovered this, but I looked into... Well, even though farts is an accepted word as like a response to guess, accepted guess, let's say, it will never be the word, according to the New York Times, since they took over. It'll never be plural words, or what's the other word? Like, there's another situation where it'll never be plural words, and there's some other thing where it'll never be that type of word too. I think maybe like past tense or something like that. So, if you win, you get 0 points. If you lose, we get 2 points. That's what Rugmat's voting. I just did the Wordle and felt the hint helped me get it, but I'll abstain from voting. What's up, Danish? Good to see you, buddy. What's your win of the week? We could just forego it and just not count this week. We could do that. So our option is we don't count it or we count it. And so far we say, Frackberg's saying we count it. I think May is saying we don't count it. Wasabi is essentially, even though they're saying they'll abstain from voting, but based on what they said, is that hint helped Wasabi get the Wordle for today. So I'm going to take that as a no. So we got 1 yes, 2 no's. Rugmat's offering an alternative suggestion. Huggins is saying count it, so that's 2 yeses and 2 no's. May is not voting. We need a tiebreaker. We got 2 yeses and 2 no's, and then Rugmat's saying if I get it, it's 0 points. If I lose, you get 2 points. I don't like that. How about if I get it, I get 0. If I lose, you get 1. I'll take that deal.
Welcome in and thanks for joining today, Rambling Geek.
Rambling Geek says no, don't count it. Alright. Can't count. You can't count me as a no. I'm not counting you as a no. I have no idea what's happening. We're deciding on whether I should count my results. I'm going to play the Wordle next, okay? Like we normally do, right? Rambling Geek. But the problem is I inadvertently, out of a natural reaction, clicked to see what this text was from Rugmat, because it's like it was non-standard, right? You see standard results here, right? Nobody says anything else. It's just their results from playing Wordle. But Rugmat added a little note, and that kind of gave me a hint.
Welcome in and thanks for joining today, the World of Mystery.
The World of Mystery on YouTube says, can you hack? If you're about to ask me if I can like hack a website for you or something like that, the answer is no. I'm going to stop you there. I'm not procrastinating. All right, I'm going to play. We're just not going to count it this week, okay? I think that's the fair thing to do. We'll stay tied at 12-12. Final answer. Sounds fair, Rugmat. All right. Oh, I don't want to remove it. All right, let's see how I can do. Watch its farts today.
Welcome in and thanks for joining today, TypeScript.
What's up, TypeScript Tea Time? Good to see you. Twitch chat, okay? I'm going to read to you the YouTube message, okay? It's from the World of Mystery. Their first thing was, can you hack, right? And what did I say in response to that? I want Twitch chat to take a guess, because you're probably not watching the YouTube chat, because I'm multi-streaming over there, or multicasting. And I said, listen, if you're going to ask me to hack a website for you, the answer is no, right? And I want you to take a guess what the next message was from them. Their next message. Guess what the next message was? Wotw says we should document that decision for future situations. Yes, we should do that. Let's we're in Wordle. Let's add a note to this.
Welcome in and thanks for joining today, Roki Roy.
Note on what's today? Friday, June 7th, 2024. Is inadvertently, it's not inadvertent, right? Because I still, like, my intent was to reveal what Rugmat wrote there. I'll just say I unfortunately couldn't resist the urge to see the extra note that Rugmat shared with their Wordle results for the day, and that gave away a hint for me. As a result, we decided to forego the results, forego counting my result of playing Wordle on this day. Sound good? Now it's documented. And it's in the recording of the stream. Accidental spoilers. He asked you to hack. Exactly, May. He asked me to hack. I am the gangsta, bro. I mean, I'm not doubting that. Hey, what's up, Roki? Roki Roy over on YouTube. Hello, what is... we're playing Wordle in just a second here, and then we're going to get into the Q&A stuff. So yeah. So, World of Mystery, no. I'm not going to hack a website. I'm not going to attempt to do that. Rugmat tricked you into viewing his hint. I don't think that was Rugmat's intent, though. So, I don't want to put that on him. He said, very admiral, and I respect your choice, says Talk to Me Gooseman. If only. Huggins says, I got it in 3, all natural. Haven't played in forever. You've inspired me. That's good to hear, Huggins. I enjoy playing Wordle. It's a fun game. Connections, on the other hand, I have a love-hate relationship. Mostly hate. But I still play it. Crackbrick says, I think what we should really do is ban Rugmat. Yeah. Wasabi says, you unknowingly viewed a hint for the Wordle of the day. Yeah, essentially. Roki Roy says, let's start. We have started, my friend. Thank you for being here. Rugman says, I considered putting warning text that it was a legit spoiler, but oh well, too late. Yeah, no worries, Rugman. It's not your fault. It's my fault. I shouldn't have clicked it. I shouldn't have clicked and revealed your results on Rugmat, on Wordle. So it is what it is. All right, without further ado, farts did not prove fruitful today. Is the first guest. Yes. So we're gonna go with Mound. Ooh. I see what you did there. Thanks, Frackberg. I'm glad you're picking up what I'm putting down. Nice choice of words. Thank you as well, May. All right, so it's a fruit, right? I'm glad we're not counting this one, because if I don't get it in the third guess here, it'd be very disappointing. It'd be deflating. I added that button today during the stream. Mango? No. What fruit starts with an M? Mango? I don't think that hint's even gonna help me. Fail. Yeah, Rockbat fail. I know mango, but Anish, that's right. I'm thinking the same thing, but there's no A. So if you've not played this before, my first guess here, F-A-R-T-S, hearts, exactly. It's indicate if the letter is grayed out, that means it's not in the word. If it's green, it's in the word and in the exact position it should be in. Oh my god. That was loud in my ear. If it's yellow,
Do it! Make your dreams come true! Nothing is impossible! No, what are you waiting for? Do it! Just do it! Yes, you can!
all right, so, and then if it's a yellow background, the niche, then that means it's in the word, but not in the correct spot. Roki Roy on YouTube says, what country are you from? Antarctica. No flashbang hugging, sorry. I need to add that back. Maybe we'll do that during the Q&A. All right, so M, what other vowel is going to be in there? Mingo? Well, that's an inspiring long sound effect. Yes. I need to shorten that one up. Mingo? Mingo. Another way of spelling mango? Not in the word list. Mononucleosis. Melon. It's melon. Boom. So Rugmat, what was the word that you picked that was the wrong fruit? That was Rugmat's hint. Rugmat's hint was wrong fruit on guess 4. Melon. So you had the E, the O, and the N. Let me guess. What would that be? Oh, and then the yellows. All right, let me show you Rugmat's results here. So Rugmat had... This is melon, right? M-E-L-O-N. You had lemon. That was it. You guessed lemon first and then melon. I got it. Got it before you gave it to me. Lemon? Yep. Zabi got it. It be obvious. Well, look at the board. Yeah, I got you. Cheat. All right, let me share my results. I'll pop that in the Discord.
Welcome in and thanks for joining today. Today's wordly answer is welcome in and
Spoiled?
thanks for joining today in Paris Ha 1.
Wait, how'd you get it to say spoiled?
This just became a job.
How'd you get it to say spoiled? All right, added. What's up, Sean A? How you doing, buddy? Sean just resubbed with the 74 months resub. Appreciate you. That's freaking long. Thank you for that. Thank you for that continued support. Today's Wordle answer is I can write whatever I want. And then melon.
Welcome in and thanks for joining
True.
today, DNOA.
I don't know why I was thinking it was a bot, but duh. Sean says, who got points today? Nobody, because I accidentally looked at a little hint that Rugmat had put into. I mean, go if you check out the Wordle channel on Discord, you'll see. That way I don't have to repeat it. Rookie Roy has a legitimate question over on YouTube now. Thank you for that. Rookie Roy says, what's the best technology for web development? Well, you have a lot of choices. I'm a bit biased. I would say JavaScript, because you can, if you learn JavaScript for the front end of web development, you can use it on the back end as well. But a lot of people would recommend not doing that, and I understand why, and they have very valid points. And your other option I would recommend outside of JavaScript would be Python then. So, there is that. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Didn't mean to. That just slipped out. Didn't mean to do that in your ear holes. And Parashar, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Happy to have you here. What's your win of the week if you got one to share? Rugmat, did the overlay work? The rainbow overlay work? Seems like it went. Python for front end? No. Python for back. Well, you could technically use Python to, if you're doing what's called a static site, meaning you have just HTML and CSS and you need to host that up from a Python backend and a Python API, then yes, you can use Python for web development, but not like in the sense of doing front end. Hold on a second, chat. We got a salad for lunch. We got a salad for lunch. Sound the alarm. Sound the alarm. It's a good thing. I was eating like crap, so it's good to break it up. I saw yellow, orange, and red. Okay, cool, May. You don't think it did, Rugmat? Harshar says, I mean, you can use Python or Rust or Go, but is that a good experience? I don't think so. For back-end part of the development? Right, that's what I'm getting at. Like, if you're doing if you want to do like front-end development, JavaScript is the way to go. But if you want to do full stack, I think JavaScript's good because you have an advantage in that you can use JavaScript on the back end too with Node or Bun or Deno. But a lot of folks would say Python's probably a lot of folks would say they feel Python is a better option for a beginner to do back-end development, for web development, API development, that type of thing. Yeah, it's working. Okay, cool. Thanks, Rugmat. For back-end, it's good. Yep. Does that help answer your question over on YouTube, Roki Roy? Keep the questions coming if you got them. Happy to help there. Power Source says, hey, I just joined, and first thing I saw is you saying lemon to some boxes. Yes. It is called Wordle, which is the game that you see on my screen here. It's a fun game that we play to kind of transition between segments. Speaking of, we gotta do connections now together while I eat my lunch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shuffle, shuffle. So if you've never played this before, the idea with this game is you need to find 4 words that have some way of connecting them in the sense of like a category. Like, let me show the examples that they do here. Like fish. You have a bass, flounder, salmon, trout. You click on all 4 of those words, submit it, and it'll be like, okay, yes, you got it right. It's the fish category. Or fire ant, fire drill, fire opal. And it's supposed to be yellow. They categorize them in colors for each connection. Yellow being the easiest and purple being the hardest. However, that's not always the case. Case in point, actually, I think it was yesterday. I got it in reverse order. I got it purple, blue, green, yellow. Anyway, do you see any connections, chat? We have code today. Code is in the picture. Picture. Envision, picture, conceive, imagine. Ooh, but then there's film. I'm gonna send it. Ooh, that worked. Okay, dream up. All right. Film, flick, program. Oh, no. Hack. Program, hack, code, develop. Yeah, send it. Yeah. Oh, that's the hard. Verbs for a software engineer. Yeah. They're catering to our audience today, chat. Why? Sweep brush. Oh, wait. A layer, film, coat, skin. Yep. And then thin covering. And what do we think does wipe, flick, sweep, brush? Things to clean with? Ways to clean stuff off? Remove as crumbs. Really? That is the one reason why I don't like wearing the glasses. It really messes with the green screen. All right, let's share these results. Chat, you didn't even help me that time. Go me. All right, well, in here, Rugmat also had a hidden message. Should have got purple sooner than I did. I think so, too. Same here. I should have gotten it first. It's still cool. Ooh, I want to see this. All right, I got an alert from Atom's Discord. Got a treat. Well, maybe we'll watch this while I eat my lunch here. It's only 3 minutes, so. All right, so look, from Atom. By the way, shout out to Atom. Go check them out. Here's the link in the chat. Games did well. Yes, games did well. Windows or Linux? In terms of what? To program on? I don't think it matters these days anymore. To be honest with you, Roki Roy. You could, I would say whatever you prefer. Whatever you have available to you. Use Windows, use Linux, use Mac OS. Whatever's available to you and least expensive to get started. The quickest to get started with for you. I've developed on all three. Triple B says Windows is life, only Windows. Good to see you, Triple B. Welcome in. You're unbiased? Yeah, right. Happy Friday. What's your win of the week, Triple B? Have you been away this week? Or just busy? Busy cruising in the new car? Thank you for that. Snooze. You know my win of the week. I do know your win of the week. I'll let you be the one to announce it, though. Not me. Crackberg says only Windows for the value of WSL. Windows substitute for Linux. Yeah. Speaking the dogma already. Oh, that's why the bias. All right, let's watch this video. So this is Atom. If you're not familiar with Atom, they are a chatbot Twitch tool, or streaming tool rather, not just Twitch, a streaming tool. You go to atom.tv to check them out for further details on that. It's really cool. They do a great job. I know a lot of folks here that stream as well use it, and I'm quite fond of it. I don't use it personally just yet because at the time it didn't have all the features that I would want to leverage, but I have been curious about switching over to it now that it's got way more features and a lot to offer. So in any case, this is their Matrix bullet time. So the whole purpose of Atom was inspired by this streamer, Mr. Greggles, right? Is that what it is? If I'm recalling correctly. Who has this, he's a drummer. He does drumming streams, among other things. But has this awesome, what's called bullet time effect. Because he's got like, I don't know, 100 cameras or something like that. And for someone like me that has multiple cameras, not nearly that many, I'm a fan of that, and I can appreciate the work that he puts into his stream to do that. So anyway, let's take a look at this while I'm eating my lunch and put lunchtime up. Jimbo. Time to say buy more cameras. Yeah, right. Thank you for the shout out to Mr. Greggles. That's what it was, right? It's been good enough to pay for. You love Atom? Yeah, yeah. You're somebody I thought of that uses Atom when I was talking about that. All right, let's play this.
This is bullet time.
Isn't that cool? It's almost like a stop motion animation.
21 cameras, 48 cables, some fancy maths, and a whole lot of automation come together to create one of the most unique live stream camera effects on Twitch. Hi, I'm Mr. Greggles, drummer, Twitch streamer, and co-founder of Atom, and I'm going to give you an insight into the camera setup that put me on the map. Bullet time isn't anything new. It was famously created for the Matrix films back in 1999, and the effect is achieved by taking simultaneous pictures on multiple cameras and then playing those pictures back in a sequence to create the iconic freeze frame effect.
Being a film buff and also an ex-visual effects artist, I wanted this effect for my drumming streams. But the challenge I faced was taking this from something that was post-produced into something that could be done live on Twitch. The first hurdle was finding a way to capture the output of 21 cameras simultaneously. For this, we ended up building a one-of-a-kind PC that could run multiple HDMI capture cards. Usually, a PC's motherboard wouldn't have enough PCIe slots to attach enough capture cards for this. However, we overcame this issue by using a technique called PCIe bifurcation, which is essentially
Nerd alert.
split all of your PCIe slots into two, allowing you to double the amount of capture cards or GPUs or input cards that you have in a system. The next challenge was the
I was like, is it my music? I think they use Pretzel Rocks.
physical alignment of the cameras, which is incredibly important to making the effect look smooth. But by using a section of stage lighting trussing, I was able to form a perfect 2.5 meter circle, to which then I attached my Zoom Q2N 4K cameras using camera mounts and clamps and ball joints. I then attached the cameras exactly 16 centimeters apart to the lighting trussing, and finally aligned them to look into the center of the focal point, which was where I sat to play my drums. Next, using a whole host of HDMI cables, I was able to attach all the multiple cameras into the capture cards in the PC and pull every single feed into OBS. This was another reason why the PC we built was such a beast, housing 3 graphics cards and a Threadripper CPU. When you're running that much raw video data, you need a lot of power to process it. Now, within OBS, all of the camera sources were added to a single scene. This allowed them to be overlapped and therefore be able to be turned on and off in sequence, creating the orbiting effect. Finally, I was able to use Atom to set up multiple sequences to trigger the cameras to turn on and off in quick procession to make a really smooth animation. The transition between each camera is only 45 milliseconds, and the reason for this is so we can sync the camera change to the camera's frame rate and therefore prevent any skipped frames or jerky looking animations. But this just creates, albeit a fancy one, camera loop. To achieve the effect of bullet time, I used Atom again to trigger freeze frames within OBS to capture a single frame of each camera. And then I play those frames back in sequence with the orbit effect, and you get the classic freeze frame, slow motion, bullet time matrix look.
That's
and
so
there you have
cool.
it, the only bullet time setup on Twitch. It took a lot of time and resources to make this possible, but it is something truly unique. I hope you enjoyed this little deep dive into the bullet time that I use on my stream that is powered by Atom, and I hope it is inspiration to you all to create something truly unique and awesome for your streams. But until next time, happy streaming.
That's super cool. What? It just went into autoplay about that. 90% was sponsored? Was it really? That's helpful, because I was thinking the same thing that Wasabi was asking. I wonder how much this setup costs. It probably cost a penny without sponsorship. Hello on YouTube, World of Mystery again. Pseudo to you. I like what you did there. Yeah, that machine and all the cams were provided by Logitech. Oh, really? Welcome back again. Yeah, I still wonder how much it costs too. Show 'em. Well, I wonder if you don't need as many cameras.
Welcome in
That's
and
possible.
thanks for joining to Dave Bucheros.
What's up, Frank? All right, let's play little words on stream while I finish eating here. Here is the mirror link. right, chat? I think it was an interview with EposBox. He has another video that isn't an ATIM hype video that goes into more detail. Okay. Check that out next. Oh yeah. Ping pong. What's that big word? Oh, enjoy then, Sean. Appreciate you, buddy, hanging out for a little bit. Thank you for that resub. The heckin' long resub. Have a good rest of your Friday and weekend, Sean A. Triple B, did you start the new job this week? And that's why I haven't seen as many notifications about you going live. Monday. Oh, Monday. I got you. Oh, this past Monday. Okay. I got you. I had... when I noticed there wasn't as many notifications, I had a inkling that might have been the case. Yes, I started the new job. Sweet mother, communication is fun. No, I got you. Sorry, did I seem more confused? Less Twitch, now more Teams for him. Yeah, Frank. World of Mystery says, bro, I need online work. I'm sorry, I can't help you with that. That's not something in my wheelhouse. I don't do a lot of online work. Like consulting, you mean? Stuff like that? I don't have any experience doing that. I'm not the right person to ask, sorry. Wish I could help, though. May, nice job on the first round here. Triple B, Frank. Did we get the big word? No, I don't think we did. Huggins and Wasabi Dev. Let's keep it going, level 2.
Welcome in and thanks for joining today, Pixie Pattern Guys.
What's up, Pex? World of Mystery on YouTube says I'm working for Group MBG. What does that mean? They don't give me much money. Sorry to hear that. That sucks. What's up, Shaggy? Nice job on that round. Chat. Keep it going. Ah, nice job, Shaggy. Yeah, I think you're right. You is fake. Nice. Is Reese a word?
Send them home, run it, bitch. Send them home, run the track. Send them home, run it, bitch. Send them home, run the track. Send them home, run it, bitch.
All right, nice job so far. May, Wasabi, Pex, Baldbeard Builder, F. Boucher, Shaggy, Huggins, and Frackberg. Keep it going, see how far we can get. I'm done with lunch, so after this we're gonna jump into working on stream production and answering questions. Boxes. Is L fake? I think L is fake. Yeah, I think L is fake. Yep. Nice job, Shaggy. I beat you to it, Peck. Sorry.
Send them home. Send them home. Send them home.
Oxes isn't a word?
Send them home.
What's the plural for ox? Oxen? Is that what it is?
Send them home. Send them home.
An ad is about to start in 5,000 milliseconds on Twitch.
Send them home.
There's an ad running for 9.
Send them home.
Nice. Chat's giving 3 on that one. That's pretty good. Level 11. Here we go. Alright, X is fake on this one.
Welcome in and thanks for joining today, Liminal 0x.
This just became a job.
What's up, Liminal? Never fear, eyes here. Happy to have you here. Frank, thank you for subbing for 11 months resub in a row. Appreciate that support, buddy. Frank, did you happen to see Jim Bennett's announcement that he joined up on with the newer company that he's at? It's Pieces, Get Pieces. And then he was reminiscing about the old days working together with all of us as developer advocates. If you haven't seen it, go check out Jim Bennett's recent tweets on that. It was kind of cool. He posted like a big group picture of all of us and everything. It was cool to see. It hit me in the feels reminiscing about those times. Yeah, I missed that too. Some good times, man. It was really good times. Reset. Soothe. User. Nice. Reuse. R-E. Okay, so still no hidden letter, right? The T might be fake, I think, now. Why wouldn't reset work? Because T is fake, right? Ensure. There's an N. There's an N. Enter. There's no T though. Dang it. There's an N. Scene. Runes. Runs. Nice. Nice job, Rugman, on getting Ensure. Nurse. Oh, we're 1 point away. One more word. Eek. Yes, Rugmat! Holy shnikes, Batman! Oh my goodness. You came in clutch that round, Rugmat. Big round of applause for Rugmat right there. Oh my gosh. I thought we were done for. Right at the last second. Bam, Rugmat keeps it going. Big congrats. Level 14, here we come. That was a tough, what was that, level 11? Oh, level 13. We just got one level on that. Dang. All right, let's keep it up, chat. We got this. We got this. Q is probably going to be fake, but let's try quilt. Date. Okay, that worked. Oh, Q is it. L might be fake. Somebody try queen. Queen. N might be the hidden letter. We got to get this hidden letter. No, queen didn't work, huh? What's the big word then? It's got to use Q in it, right? Cadet. Equate. E-Q-U-A-T-E. Nice job. Equated. Oh, Shaggy got me. Nice job. All right, so it's just the hidden letter we're looking for then. What can we get equated off? Equidistant? L is fake. Yes, L is fake. So we've used all the letters except the hidden letter now. Oh, it's A. A is hidden. Equated. Beat. Equated. There's a double A. That's what it is. There's two A's. What am I saying? Aided? Data. Nice. Ta-da. Did we get that one right? No. We got it. What's that big word? Aqueduct? Oh, I think you were close, Rugmat. Adequate. Can't type, yeah. Oh man, that was a good round. Oh, next one. Ooh. All right, keep in mind it's all 5-letter or more words. Risen. Bison. Ribes. I think B is fake. Free. R-I-N-S-E. Nice. Rinse. Rinser. Good job, Shaggy. Signer. Riser. Yep. Resin. Ensure? No. could be the hidden letter, chat? Since? Mince? Insurer. Okay, we got insure. Nice job, Rugmat. There's an I. NSURRR. So U is hidden. So user. No, user's not. It's too short. Ruins did not work.
Welcome in and thanks for joining today, Dubesman.
What's up, Dubsman? Good to see you, buddy. Runes. Nurse. Ah! Alright, let's play another round. I want to play another round. Feel free to ask questions, though, if you'd like. Keep it coming. Just trying to rest my voice. But shout out to May, Hex, Shaggy, Zombie Dev, Triple B, Rugmat, Frank, Liminal, Huggins, Frackberg, and Dubsman for getting us to level 16 that round. You gotta go. Alright, Shaggy. Unamas? Oh, okay. Bring it on, then. Ooh. Oh, somebody do a canal? I got it. Never mind. What's the big word? Banana? Cannibal. Ugh. Nice job, Dubsman. Man, that was a tough one, huh? For round one? Nice job, Shaggy. All right. Pretty good. Pretty good round. Or level. Ooh. Rips. Prison. Poison. Ions. Orion. Prion. Prion Spinor. What is Spinor? Spinor? Peons. Peon. Snip, snip. Snipperoni. Spore. Alright, let's keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Waffle. Fish. Fish. Fish.
Welcome in and thanks for joining today, Phil_Carbo.
What's up, Phil Carbo? Good to see you, buddy. Sawfish. Good job, Shaggy. Happy to have you back, Phil Carbo. Sash. Shaz? Is Shaz a word? Weights. No. Shiz? Beef? Alright, one more. Save? Sail? Sawi? Sawi? S-A-W-I? Swiss. Swiss. Swass. Swift. Swaff. Saws. How did I not see that? Nice job, Dubsman. Round or level 9. Speed run. We got a fake letter now. Let me try rate. Taller. Wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a rabbit with a hat. 6'4" Impala. Alright, the question is then, is it second A fake or the O fake? Override. Toll. Later. It's I think O is fake.
Welcome in and thanks for joining today, Oman himself.
Hey, Amon, it's going well. How are you, man? Thanks for being here. Lateral, nice job, Shaggy. Nice job, chat. Here we go. Level 11. I think we got up to 16 last time, right? Rolls. Balls. I think D might be fake. Yeah, D is fake criminal. Nice job, Tex. Getting rolls. Tolls. Ooh, chat. We might complete this whole board. All right, something alphabetically after toll, and it's 4 letters. Torse. Done. Well done, chat. Well done. Level 14. Here we go. We're getting close to our record for today. Keep it going. Phenomenal. All right, we got fake and hidden. Let's get that hidden letter. Let's get that hidden letter. Mate. Great. Mart. Mart. Rain. Okay. T-R-A-I. So M might be fake. Or the second A. Either M or the double A is fake. Likely the M is fake. Because I tried Mart and that should work, but that didn't go. I think M is fake. And mint doesn't work, right? Maybe tint? Terrain. Good guess, Sean. Hey, welcome back, by the way. I thought you had to step away. Rant. Irate. M is fake. M is fake. Trait. Rainy. Tiara. Okay, so yeah, definitely got the double A's. Nice job, Pex, on that one. Come on, chat. It's getting tight here. Tran. Anti-tran. Trance?
Welcome in and
V.
today, Royal
Rivian. Trivial. Vita. Variant. Nice job, Shaggy. Vant. Ravin. Tana. Rana. Wow. Trivia. Dang. Hey, nice try, though, chat. Nice try. Oh, man. Poop. Poop is right. Liminal. Poop is right. Hey, but shout out to everybody that played May. Shaggy, Dubsman, Liminal, Phil Carbo, Pex, Frank, Amon himself, and Sean A. Appreciate y'all playing. We got to level 14 that time, and then 16 the one before. It was fun. Hope you enjoyed it. No, I don't think Poop was on there. True. Very true. Very, very true. All right, so here's the thing. Lunch break is over. All right, turn that off. So what I want to do, and like no pressure, but the idea is to put it out there to you all, like what are some questions that you have around application security, web security, that type of development. And honestly, for selfish reasons, one of the reasons why I'm looking to do this is to kind of figure out what are topics that are top of mind for developers that maybe aren't as focused in this area that they're thinking of that I can make videos for work. So that's kind of the thing behind it. To give you an idea, for instance, like some stuff that I have in the works is like stuff around AI and how to use that securely. The rest of my team is more well versed in this stuff, so I need to like ramp up on this of what they've done. But basically, like how, like for instance, not that GitHub Copilot is vulnerable, but GitHub Copilot will basically kind of regurgitate knowing the context of your project can oftentimes, when you ask it to, let's say, give you a SQL query, if you have other queries in your project that it's using as context, it will spit out more queries like that. And let's say your SQL queries that you're using have SQL injection vulnerability in them because you're not knowledgeable in that space. You just don't know any better. Well, GitHub Copilot's going to feed you back more answers that are similar to what the code that you're using in your project, right? So that's one of the topics that we're looking to make a video on shortly, that a lot of folks on my team have been doing talks on and workshops on and stuff like that. So I'm giving that as like a primer of like, all right, what's on your mind around application security? It doesn't have to be AI or anything like that, but like what are some of the things that are coming up that you're curious about or you don't know about or whatever. And I'll do my best to answer them now, but that'll also help me know, okay, that's something I can make a video on that goes more in depth, that type of thing. So Phil Carbo says, just, hey Clarkio, it's been a while. Hey, it's good to see you, Phil Carbo too. How you been, man? What's your win of the week if you got one to share? I see Liminal also says, my company's security team will not let me do anything. It's a Fortune 500 company, makes it impossible to build any internal tooling. What do you mean by they won't let you do anything? So maybe the video topic for something like that would be like, how do I get internal buy-in to let me do more security related stuff even though I'm not on a security team? That could make for a good video, good conversation. Let me switch to talking here for now. Liminal went on to say, I have full stack experience, was hoping to implement some new systems. So meaning your company won't let you try new technology stacks? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, how can I sell the idea to the security team? That's a good question. So some things that popped into my head right away with that is, one, getting to know them better, right? On a more personal level. Because a lot of time, like with anybody that you're trying to internally get buy-in from, if they don't really know you, their initial reaction is not to trust, especially a security team, right? Like even though you work there, you work together at the same company, they're naturally just not going to trust you. They're going to be paranoid about stuff. So you got to build that trust with them, right? So get to know them, set up meetings with them, learn about.
It's about to start in 5,000 milliseconds.
Terrible timing, Twitch.
There's an ad running for 90.
Liminal, are you able to see what I'm saying right now or no? Or hear what I'm saying right now or no? I'll wait to answer further. Commercial break for Liminal. So while waiting for the commercial to finish up, Roy Lisa says, win of the week, fix some networking so I could catch the stream. That's awesome to hear. Thanks for that. Glad to see you, Roy Lisa. Welcome in. Sean 08 says, hell, my security team doesn't trust me and I've been working with them for years. It's probably the right decision. That's true. Yeah. I'm not saying that you're going to get there. But what I mean by that, and I know you probably realize this, Sean, already, but for folks that maybe are like, oh, that's a good point. A security team shouldn't really trust any of their employees. And that is fair. It's probably the right decision. It's good to err in that direction first, right? And my thoughts on that is not that like you're trying to gain their trust so you can fool them. Like you genuinely typically, all right, I don't want to speak for everybody, but like if you're an employee at any company and you like working there, that type of thing, and you're not like, what's the word I'm looking for? Begrudgingly working there or something like that, or you don't hate your company and you're just working there just for the money, that type of thing, you're likely going to want your company to stay afloat and not hurt your company, right? So you generally have the same objectives. Commercial break is over yet? I think so. Liminal, you back from the commercial break so we can keep talking about your question? I like the song. So my thought is, I am so back. Okay, yeah. So Sean had added in the chat that his security team doesn't trust him, and he's been working with them for years. It's probably the right decision, which is fair. What I mean by gaining their trust is not to like gain their trust to trick them. It's they're gaining their trust so that they get to know you and understand your objectives, and they can better see. Like if they have more context on where you're coming from, then they're going to be more likely to figure out a way that they can still achieve their objectives of staying secure while also enabling you, right? I think one of the things, I mean, there's probably exceptions to this, but for the most part, a security team doesn't want to make your job harder as a developer. They want your job to be easier, but they want you to be able to do your job easily and in a secure way, right? And that's the constant balancing act that's going on from their perspective. So, in the Liminal, I saw you went on and said, you went on to say, what was it? You're not in a developer role right now, right? You're not staffed as a developer. And you need a small local tooling. Dev team is busy with a big push, so they can't build our little tooling that I need. Yes. So is it like an off the shelf piece of software that you would like pay for, or it's free or something like that? Typically what happens there is they need to do like a thorough evaluation of that software, make sure that it's doing what it's intended to be doing, not doing anything outside of the specifications or the intention of it, right? They got to do a whole analysis of it before they can approve it, type of thing. They'd rather shut everything down than take a risk to make processes better. Oh, for sure. It sounds like typical security. And can you really blame them, right? Like, as frustrating as it can be, you can't really blame them because their job depends on them making sure that they keep the company secure. So that's the other part of it too that I would say is my answer is like, hey, yes, it's frustrating. I totally get that because like I've been on that side. I've never been on the side of security in the sense I've worked in a role with that specific title. But I've been on the side of like a developer that knows nothing about, not necessarily knows nothing about security. I'm not saying that's you either, Liminal, but a developer that really just wants to develop and they're constantly running into conflicts with the security team, right? I've been in that position, and until you kind of come to terms with like what their goals, that's what I mean by getting to know them too, right? Because then you get more familiar with like what the constraints they're working within and why, the why behind they're telling you no, or like that can't be done or that type of thing, right? And once you understand that more, then that can help you because as a developer or any role where you like to do problem solving things, which sounds like what you're doing, Liminal, right? You're trying to solve a problem that you have for your team. So that then becomes the new problem to try and solve first to help out the security team fulfill their needs, right? While also being able to fulfill your needs that you have for your team, right? My TZA 007, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Happy to have you here. So there is that. Sean 08 says, indeed, thankfully I have a good track record with them, so they are willing to listen to me instead of outright shut me down. That's exactly, yeah. But I do come to them with some wild ideas sometimes. Fair enough. Liminal says, one example was auto hotkeys. Oh, I'm familiar with that. That's cool. They argued that because a hacker used it somewhere in the past, then it was a security risk. So the same could be said of email, but we still use it. Yeah. Well, I think I'm not trying to maybe condone this behavior with them, but likely they don't. Likely what's the case is they don't have the time or resources maybe to evaluate every piece of software that people are requesting, right? And so they'll do like a quick like, oh, this falls within this category, so therefore the immediate answer is going to always be no, right? That type of thing. So their situation that they're leaning on is like, that's been used by hackers before to compromise things because it allows for custom scripting and things like that on your machine. That's too big of a risk for us to take on. And there's not a lot of security controls around that they have available to them, right? So what they need is to just say no to something like that and say, look, sorry, you can't install that. You can't have that process running on your machine, because if an attacker gets a hold of your machine, then they can use that to expand upon it, or whatever the situation is in that case. So again, I'm not saying they're necessarily always right, but it's understandable, right? I think you can probably understand that, right? The software itself does not have a security risk. Yes and no. In the sense of, yeah, you're right. Like, it probably doesn't. I mean, you can go look. I don't know. Is the source code for AutoHotkey anywhere? Is AutoHotkey open source? I forget. I've used it before. I typed that wrong. I saw AutoHotkey. Are they open source? About the foundation, documentation. A forum, a Discord, a Reddit. Their V2. I was gonna say, if they're open source, we can scan it with Sneak and see if it has like any vulnerable dependencies, that type of thing. But the reason I say yes and no to that liminal is that just because there isn't a known vulnerability in it that's been reported on it, doesn't mean it's not vulnerable, right? Phil Carbo says, I'm working with a team and we built a lot of WordPress websites in the last 4 to 5 years. Okay, cool. We always use the same plugins and theme. We deactivated auto updates because once in a while a plugin or theme update will break everything. Yeah, on every site. Deactivating updates fixes this, but not being up to date can bring security issues. Yeah, that's a scary thing to be doing, right? You don't want to get so far out of date that you miss security patches in those plugins that you use. Like, and WordPress is like, oh my gosh, man. I think WordPress runs still like a huge chunk of the internet nowadays, right? And so it is a high value target for threat actors to find vulnerabilities within that. That's why you always see, like, if you ever monitor, if you've ever had to monitor like traffic to your own website or like a company website or something like that, you'll see when there's these bots that are out there for threat actors that just scan over websites and they try the different WordPress like admin URLs. You'll see that come in to like, and you'll see like all the 404 errors or something like that on your website, because they're just spraying and praying that they hit something to find a target that is open, that has a WordPress admin that's available to them, and then they go and explore it and they see if this has anything of value to them, right? So it's like, it's a built-in thing that they just know all these different like sensitive URLs to WordPress based systems. So, but yeah, some of the plugins on that too add to the surface area that makes WordPress vulnerable. And if you don't update to a patch version of those things, then yeah, you're left kind of hanging. What I would do in that situation, Phil Carbo, I know you're not asking this, but just to kind of talk through it for anybody listening. If you're stuck where not stuck, but you're hesitant to update because of breaking changes, well, one, I think that to me is like a tell of the ecosystem, in the sense of like, this isn't always the case in the JavaScript ecosystem in like Node and NPM, but for the most part, most developers follow semantic versioning with their packages. And that way, what I mean by that is, if you go from a major version change, you go from one major version to another major version, you know that there's likely going to be breaking changes. Like, that's the convention, the standard to follow there when it comes to semantic versioning. And then like if it's a minor or patch release, right? So it's the 3 numbers, 2 dots in between. So 1.0.1, right? The 1, the first, or let's say it's 1.2.3. The 1 is the major version, 2 is the minor version, and 3 is the patch version. So typically you can expect that like the minor, which is the 2, or the patch, which is the 3 in that example, typically don't have breaking changes. They should be backwards compatible. But if you go from like version 1.2.3 to 2.0.0, that's a breaking change likely. So yeah, there is that to consider. And like I don't know what the standard is in WordPress world, right? Like, do they follow semantic versioning? Probably not. So what you have to do there is like go through painstaking testing, maybe writing unit tests too to help lessen the amount of manual labor you got to do around that. But do some manual testing of like in a certain branch with those upgraded, like upgrade one plugin at a time basically, and test it out and see what changes. Right? Maybe it's a little bit of an API change on how you call the functions, what parameters it's expecting to be passed into it, that type of thing. Or arguments, I mean, so forth. Just to kind of round that out. Liminal says, of course I understand, but if the attacker gets into my machine, then it's already compromised. Yeah, but the idea is like you don't want to... I understand that sense of thinking, and I've definitely been there before, but like you don't want to... How do I want to say this, Liminal? I guess like it's this that mentality is just like, well, it's already happened, throw my hands up in the air, there's nothing I can do about it type of thing, right? But really in that situation is you want to minimize as much access and tools available to an attacker as possible. You basically, what security has to do is they run under the assumption that everything is compromised at all times. And the idea is just limiting the risk of catastrophic catastrophic events happening. So essentially, the more that's available to an attacker on your machine, if your machine gets compromised, the more possibility that they can do even more damage beyond just compromising your machine. You get what I'm saying? So for them, the less software you have on there means the less tools available to that attacker to leverage to their advantage in some form or fashion. That's the mentality they're coming from. So yeah, I totally understand what you're saying, but also keep that in perspective too, in the sense of like the more that's available on your machine when it's compromised, the more an attacker can potentially go beyond that. That's the thought process, right? In the end, the biggest vulnerability is the user, sure. Pac-Man, good to see you, buddy. Welcome in. It's the jump to the next thing that is scary. Exactly. That's a succinct way to say what I said. Phil Carbo says most plugins follow versioning standards. Okay, that's good to hear. What is like the versioning standard though in WordPress? I'm not as familiar there, so educate me on that if you don't mind. Do they follow what's called semantic versioning in WordPress or no? With the plugins? Or maybe in their documentation they do a better job about that in the sense of like, okay, this, if you go to this version, it breaks this stuff, right? Release says, the whole stream is Q&A. Also, Q transparent. All right, thanks. That's the beauty of this. Yeah, I'm kind of Roy Lacey. I explained the reason why I'm doing this right now is to help selfishly a little bit, is to help me kind of field ideas for future videos for work. So that's one reason. Another reason is I know people have come in and they've expressed interest in more of my security background, so I'm trying to lean into that a bit more. And then the third reason is I don't have anything that I'm strongly motivated to like work on coding wise right now. So there is that. The only thing I'm kind of motivated to work on is like stream production stuff, but even then I'm like, I don't feel like doing that right now. So yeah. So yeah, keep the questions coming. If you don't have questions, no problem. I understand. And if this is not of interest to you, that's cool too. Alright, I'm catching up on some of the chat messages still though. Liminal says the software is free, but not sure if it's open source. Yeah, I was just looking. I don't know. I know it's free. I'm familiar with AutoHotkey. I've used it before. I've even wrote scripts in it before. But I don't recall. Oh, it looks like it might. Oh, their docs are open source on GitHub. Do they have a repo though? Oh yeah. It's in C++. Here's the repo. AutoHotkey, GitHub.com, AutoHotkey, AutoHotkey. I'm dropping it in chat now. So I wonder, since it's open source, but it's using C++, so I wonder, I don't know. I'm gonna import it into my Sneak account and see. Liminal says, do you have a workflow for doing security checks of NPM packages? Yes, the first thing I would do is go to sneak.io. Let me share my screen so you can go from there. I don't know why Dark Reader's on right now. This. Actually, hold on a second. Alright, so I was going to show you Sneak Advisor. I wish I had this when I was in a previous role. When I was a senior technical architect and I was focused on Disney, I was focused on security at Disney. I was doing a lot of this stuff manual. So we basically, the team I was on, we were, part of our task was to figure out for the development teams at the company, maybe if I go dark, it actually won't reflect on my glasses as much. Yeah, that kind of helps actually. We were responsible for going and evaluating NPM packages, for instance, that we would be like, okay, this fills this need that a lot of dev teams have. And we do like an audit on it. Like, is there a lot of support behind it? Are there a lot of community people using it? How popular is it? That type of thing. Is it well maintained? Is it the people that are maintaining it are active and responding to issues and pull requests? That type of thing. And security audits on it, right? And that's what Sneak Advisor does. This is me, not like, even though I work for Sneak now, and shout out to Sneak for making it possible that I can stream like this on Fridays. But take that aside. This is me just talking Clarkio, regular developer in the community. I wish I had this tool, and it's free too. Like, it's not like there's nothing I'm trying to sell you on. I never want to try and sell you on anything with this. But if you go to Sneak Advisor, sneak.io/advisor, you look at the package that you're trying to find. So like, I don't know, what's one? Let's go to that React PDF one that we were doing in the video, right? So let's say I'm building a React front end and I need to render PDF files in that. I'm going to look for React PDF packages that are out there on NPM, right? And this shows me all the ones that come up in that search result. And then I can see this health score, right? This is like a really quick, brief way to evaluate it. It's got a 79 out of 100 health score. Part of the reasons for that is these contributing categories: the security of it, the popularity, the maintenance, and the community, right? And that's indicating, okay, it's an influential project, meaning a lot of people are using it. Maintenance, it's healthy. There's contributors are actively adding more to it, responding to things on the repository. Sustainability, it's sustainable in the community, meaning like there's documentation, there's Stack Overflow questions about it, that type of thing, and answers to it, to common things that people run into, and so forth. Now, security, you can see it's review needed because, well, this is a relatively new vulnerability that came out with PDF.js dist that this project relies upon. I'm familiar with it because I've evaluated this as part of my research in the past video that I worked on. So that's why it's indicating that, right? But you could see, you can go to these other versions that are not vulnerable right now.
Thanks for joining today. I too like.
What's up, Rival? Good to see you, buddy. How's it been? Sean says, I really wish people would stop scheduling meetings at like 7 or 7:30. Yeah, sorry, man. So hopefully that helps answer your question. Liminal is like, that's my go-to. When I'm looking up and researching NPM packages, I go to Sneak Advisor first. And I look at this, I read through it, and get a better understanding of the health score for it right now, right? And then if this isn't like, at least, oh, hold on, I'm getting knocked at the door.
release about to start in 5,000 milliseconds on Twitch. There's an ad running for 180.
I know what's going through your mind. There's an ache or a hurt. I know how you feel it now as I look deep in your eyes. But as the day in the dark we go away, you on my mind. I can see it clearly now, but it's alright.
All right, I'm back, chat. Saying bye to the fam. They're about to head out. All right, what were we talking about? Sneak Advisor, evaluating NPM packages. So that's my workflow, Liminal. Hope that helps. I have done a video on that, but maybe I do another video. Do I have that video actually on Sneak anymore? No, I don't think I do. I think we took it down. So I can redo it. I might rehash that video. Like how to evaluate open source security, open source packages for security. The best way, I'm going to take note of this. The best way to video on how to find how would you describe this? People are probably searching like, how do I find the best packages for me, right? The best npm packages. How to find the best npm packages. Maybe something like that. I also have an idea for a video of like, how do you know your dependencies are secure? And that one would be a dedicated video of like using Sneak open source, which looks at your open source dependencies and lets you know about vulnerabilities, that type of thing. Like that's the motivation behind that. And then I make another video of like, how do you know your code is secure? And then we use Sneak code. Those are 2 videos that are in the queue of being fleshed out, but I gotta write a script for them. Okay. Maybe that helps. This is good stuff. Good questions, good conversation. Appreciate you, those of you that are here thinking about this stuff. If you have more questions, keep them coming. Catch up on chat a little bit while I stepped away there. Phil Carbo says, yes, most WordPress plugins follow semantic versioning. I'm going to look at the WordPress code. Maybe there's a filter hook for the updates I can use to filter out the major updates from the rest. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Releases with the question. What do you think about the install exe here on open source software instead of building them? I condoned a test. Most people who tried to use it usually downloaded it. Usually downloaded. It didn't build it and didn't build it themselves. How likely is it to be compromised? I mean, it's hard to say. It depends on like, you know, is it a popular package that has some level of trust with the community? I would say the likelihood of it having anything risky in it is probably small, but at the same time, I'm glad you like the DVD logo, by the way, Phil Carbo. I love it when people notice that little touch. Very much appreciated. Makes me happy. Because it took some effort to get that on there. I think that's powered by Stream Elements still, but these days. What was I saying? Oh, so when people have like a install exe in them, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, as paranoid and security oriented as I am, I still tend to install those willy-nilly on open source projects. When you go to the releases page, for instance, and they're like, hey, do this. Like, ow, that reminds me. There's a common OBS plugin, because that's one of the things that came to mind. A lot of OBS plugins will have installers for you to use. And I mean, like, and the thing is, it doesn't really add that much. I don't think there's really a lot of use cases where you would need to have an installer for an OBS plugin, because the way to, for those of you that are not familiar with this, to install an OBS plugin, you just need to basically they come in a zip file, and it gives you a couple different files that you need to put in 2 different places in your OBS, wherever your OBS is installed. Okay, it comes with like a DLL, I think, right? Let me look. I forget. It's been a while, but I have to do this like all the time. In fact, I have to update a couple ones that StreamUp was telling me about for my installation. So there's an OBS plugins folder, yes, and it is DLLs. So you gotta drop in the DLL into the OBS plugins folder, and then there's a data folder, and then an OBS plugins folder within that, where you have to drop in another folder for your plugin. So those are the 2 locations. That's all you gotta do. Is it like meticulous? Yeah. Does an installer automate that? Sure, but like the amount of clicks you go through, the typical wizard installer of like next, install here, you know, you could, in just the amount of clicks you're doing, about the same amount of clicks you're probably going to use to drag and drop, you know, unzip a file, drag and drop the exported files from there into the right folders in OBS. So there is that. So I see Sean saying with GitHub attestations, it should be more secure to do that. That's fair too, yeah. That's something fairly new, right? That they've been doing? I feel like I saw like an announcement or blog post from them. But so that all brought me to remember that there is an OBS plugin, the restream capability. Not restream, but there's a plugin that lets you, it's like multicast or multi-stream directly from OBS. And I added it to my Sneak account. So this is another way you can go about doing this too. Is if you have a free Sneak account, OBS multi RTMP. Yep, this is it. Let me share my screen. So let's say, I don't know if auto hotkey will work, but we can try it actually as an example for this. So if you have a Sneak account, you can see I actually for the first time in a while reached my limit of code tests, Sneak code tests here, right up there. But anyway, I'm on my free personal Clarkio account. And what you can do is you can actually, even if you don't own the project, as long as it's open source, you can actually add it to be monitored by your Sneak account at no additional cost to you. So you say monitor public GitHub repos. It brings you to this page. You paste in the URL to it, and then it'll let you know if it can import that. And it seems like it can. It takes a little while. But go back to the dashboard, is it? I'm gonna go back actually. Oh, right here. Where was it? Oh, there's auto hotkey now. So it's in the there are no projects associated with this target. So like sometimes, so Sneak has to do a better job of supporting C and C++ projects. I think nowadays it has been doing a better job, but it doesn't always, like, being that this is a C++ predominantly. I'm in the way. That's why you can't see that. Predominantly C and C++ based auto hotkey. It doesn't have the I don't know, the right structure. I'm not as familiar with C and C++, and I'm not as familiar with how Sneak supports it or figures out how to scan it. There's probably a way I can set up Sneak to look at this better and get more details on it and do an analysis on it better. But yeah, so that's another way I would evaluate auto hotkey. Then there's another tool that an internal security researcher that I was having a chat with told me about. What is it called? It's like Run Anywhere. It's like some virtual machine basically that you can drop files into that'll let you, and then it'll do like malware analysis on it. But speaking of that, I was doing I was checking out, where was it? An OBS plugin. OBS multi RTMP. So this one, they looked at the public repo on it, code analysis, and it sees it has a missing release of memory after it's a medium severity level. I'm in the way again. Right here. Medium severity level due to this line of code that it's doing here. And this is C++ too, so you can see it does support C++. I don't know necessarily. Well, the other thing that happens sometimes is on the initial import, it'll say that it doesn't have anything supported, and then you wait like another 30 seconds and it comes back and it's fine. But that's one vulnerability with it. But then I was using Malwarebytes just to scan something, and then I was like, you know what, let me scan my whole PC. And it found that this plugin, which was on my PC, was being flagged for, and it could be a false positive, but it was being flagged for being malware, essentially. This project here. Copy that. But this is a popular OBS plugin that people use. As you can see, look, 3,200 stars. I like the translation here. Don't buy this paid version. So I don't know, you know, it is a little like iffy to me, but the fact that like well-known OBS tutorial type content creators bring this plugin up quite a bit, and it's the only one out there that does it. I don't know. I don't know if I would doubt that it really is, with this many people looking at it, that it likely is malware, and maybe it's a false positive, or maybe it's including something that would make it a little bit more, that, you know, not intentionally, but it's pulling it in, that's making it vulnerable or be flagged as malware. I don't know. There's a virus total that does malware analysis. I know that Elgato uses that for Stream Deck plugins. Oh, does it? Okay, that's good to know, Sean. Oh, that's assuming, back to the GitHub attestation. You're saying assuming the developer has set up their pipeline to do that. Okay. It essentially allows you to use the GitHub CLI to validate a binary what was actually built in a GitHub Actions pipeline. Oh, okay. Yeah. Right, but they might not be using GitHub Actions to build it, right? And then GitHub doesn't have access. You can't expect them to have access to it. Interesting to hear you haven't heard of that yet. Haven't heard of what, Roy Lisi? Which was? I forget what that was in reference to. Sean and Rival talking about job posting. Oh, speaking of a job posting, Sneak is hiring. Is it public yet? Let me double check. We'll go to Sneak. Actually, I can just show you while I do this. Company. So you go to sneak.io, company, careers, see open jobs. Yep, it is public. Okay. We are hiring an AI advocate, and it's an entry-level one, too. You can be remote, Boston, U.S. East Coast, or Canada East Coast. You'd be working on my team with me. You'd be a peer of me, reporting up to the same boss as me. You'll spend time on AI advocacy, content creation, community engagement, product input, learning and research. And I can attest to that. I mean, I'm doing that, but like for web development, right? So there you go. We're hiring. I'll drop this in the chat in case anybody's interested to check it out. Rival says my stand-up is at 7:30. Liminal says, thanks, man. I was baiting you. Wait, you were baiting me for what, Liminal? I missed that. Oh, you're baiting me to like look into Sneak Advisor? Is that what it is? Well played. Well played. I appreciate that softball then. I was like, I was thinking to myself when you asked that question, I was like, I'm pretty sure Liminal's been around here enough where they've seen me talk about Sneak Advisor and are aware of it. You got me good. Oh, you're West Coast? I mean, I'm sure we can make... Well, the reason why... I don't know for sure, but the reason why Liminal, they're saying East Coast is because... So my boss, whoever would be applying and get this position, he's based in Israel. And as it is, we have very small window of overlap that's at least a reasonable time frame for him and I to get on a call. And it's usually his late night. Because he's like 7.5 hours ahead, I want to say. I think I have the time. Yeah. What time is it right now in Israel? It is... Yeah, it's exactly 7 hours. Whereas West Coast, it's 10 hours. So it makes it like there's like no overlap in the normal workday for West Coast and Israel. So I think that might be a contributing factor. Yeah. Sean says, yeah, I was on a call with someone from Israel this morning. Yeah. It's like, well, maybe that's why you have those 7 a.m. ones, Sean. 10-hour difference. Rival says, Sean, when are you hiring me? DVD logo sounds good. Looks like there are openings for some other teams. Bit of attestation. Virus total. What positions? That's the position right here, Roy Lisi. So it's entry level. That's one thing to keep in mind. Like, so you don't have to necessarily have past experience working as a developer advocate. That's why I'm particularly glad that we're doing this. I'm super excited because you don't see a lot of entry level developer advocate roles, or ones that let me put it this way: you don't have. There are developer advocate roles, like not senior. I'm senior. Then there's at some companies they have staff, some have principal, and so forth. That type of thing. I think we have both staff and principal. I think. I don't know. There was a guy that used to work here that has since left that was principal advocate, but he might be an exception too, based on his trajectory that he followed. Anyway, I digress. So, but a lot of times, I don't think companies are hiring like entry-level developer advocates. They're expecting them to have a ton of experience doing advocate type activities and things like that. And so, anyway, I'm excited that this one is more of an entry-level one. I think it even, it says this is entry-level role is perfect for a software developer with a keen interest in machine learning and artificial intelligence or cybersecurity. It's an ideal opportunity for recent graduates or junior developers looking to break into the AI and security sectors. So, right there. Can I get it all on one screen? Yeah, kind of. There you go. Check it out. We're hiring. Chumik, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Happy to have you here. Got any questions around application security, web security? Let us know in the chat. Or at least says it's too far geographically for me. Sorry to hear that. Oh, Israel was 8 a.m. call for you. 7 a.m. was interview stuff. Okay, got you.
Welcome in and thanks for joining today, Tumik.
Hey, Tumik. Thanks for chatting too. Appreciate that. How did I get on this topic of sneak hiring? I don't remember. I'm glad we're hiring. That's a good sign, right? Where is that? Oh, we were talking about OBS Multi RTMP, how I evaluate projects, especially open source. I go to Sneak Advisor for sure, but then I also, like if I'm using a plugin, I'm monitoring that. Even though I don't own that plugin, as long as it's open source, I can add it into my Sneak account and I can monitor it. So if you looked at some of my projects here, like I have Bun in there, I got VS Code Vim, like even VS Code plugins I'm monitoring, so I can see what I'm making myself vulnerable to on my machine, right? That type of thing. In fact, what am I? Oh, it's the Docker file. Which containers are a freaking hotbed of vulnerabilities, man. VS Code generator code. The tool that helps you generate VS Code extensions. It's got 2 high vulnerabilities in the package JSON. Let's see what that's about. Uncontrolled resource consumption, that's not good. And then inefficient regular expression complexity. Could read more about that. So because generator code relies on Yeoman generator, your dependencies are out of date, otherwise you'd be using a newer micromatch than 405. So they just have a package lock file probably causing that. What about this one? Yeah, same here. So that's not too big of a deal. The REST client that I like in VS Code. We got regular expression denial of service. That's important for this because I think it spins up. Does it spin up a server? It might spin up a server on your, well, you know, from within VS Code to do these HTTP requests for to be a REST client. So that would be bad. Improper input validation. Ooh, and no remediation path. Uh-oh. REST client that. XML DOM. Let's learn more about that. Oh, did you see what I clicked on to do that? So typically I'm looking at this in my, like if it's my own project, I'm looking at the VS Code Sneak extension that will allow me to just do all that within the same context. But being that this is a project that I don't own, and it's just an open source GitHub project that I imported into my Sneak account. This is how I go through the app.sneak.io Sneak's UI to look at this type of stuff. And then if I want to know more details about that particular vulnerability, I can look at like the official like cve.org site of it, but I generally like to go to the Sneak one because it gives me more information. And it gives a proof of concept too, like that, right? All right, so XML DOM is a pure JavaScript W3 standard based DOM parser and XML serializer module. Effective versions of this package are vulnerable to improper input validation due to parsing XML that is not well formed and contains multiple top level elements. All the root nodes are being added to the child nodes collection of the document without reporting or throwing any errors. So one of the following approaches might help depending on your use case. Instead of searching for elements in the whole DOM, only search in the document element. Reject a document with a document that has more than one child node. Okay, so essentially if you pass in some XML what the heck is this? I haven't dealt with XML in a while. Branch girth. Twig. Branch girth large. Leaf color green. Am I making like a tree? Is that what this is? DOM parser from string. Console log that. This will result in the following output. And what's wrong with that? What am I missing? Super high. 9.8 is high. I hope whoever gets the job is a gut person. Honestly. Had too much toxicity on the company from a friend of mine. They've been having the worst time ever. Oh, is a good person. You're talking about for the Sneak role? Roy Lacey? You're saying Sneak is toxic company? Am I reading that right? Why do you feel that way? Rival says a fire video would be comparing security of rolling your own auth and using something like Clerk. Been a huge web topic lately. Ooh, yeah. Actually, are there articles of people writing about that? I mean, the short answer to me, and I think you know this already about me, Rival, but like, I personally do not want to take on the responsibility. I think I've seen some tweets about it maybe a few weeks ago, where people are like, oh, you can write your own. It's simple nowadays. Da, da, da. I'm like, I don't want to take on that responsibility. You know? I don't want to be managing a database of usernames and passwords. Okay? Even though I know like the proper way to handle that stuff, I don't want that responsibility and liability for me or my company. You know what I'm saying? How great is it that there are these auth companies that can take on that responsibility and you have a contract with them so that they are held responsible should something go wrong with that system. You know what I'm saying? Like, and their business relies on that. So wouldn't you, I'd rather pay that price. And usually, like, I don't know what the contracts are, like what the cost is, but like especially for, let me put it this way. Even if you're not a business, like a big business, you're just running your own little startup or little side project or whatever, like I don't think that you can generally use the free tier of these services that are out there, for one, and two, they're fairly well priced from what I've seen, to where like if your website or service that you're providing to users is generating some income, it's not going to eat a ton of that income from that, you know, by paying for an auth provider, you know. So I don't really see a huge con to doing that. The one con I would say though is, like, for instance, like I've always been a huge proponent of Auth0 as an example, but Auth0's documentation and stuff like that can be a real headache. Like, everything is like scattered everywhere. They really need to do an overhaul on their documentation and their like guides for different scenarios of using their auth, because it, like, auth can be very, depending on the type of auth that you're trying to implement, it can be a huge headache. It can be a huge headache. And here's the thing, like a company like Auth0, if their documentation and their solutions you know, and like that's their specialty, and they seem to not have like cracked the code on like how to best present that to new users that are trying to implement and leverage that off of their service. What makes you think that like you or your company is going to necessarily create a better one? Maybe. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm saying like, and your company's like, your focus and business is in a different area. Your business isn't just providing auth services to other people. Your business is like whatever value you're delivering to your customers, right? So like, don't you want to focus on that and not spend time worrying about whether you got your users' information for login purposes like secure and safe? Let another company do that. That's my mentality on it. Now, is that wrong? I mean, I've not heard anybody give me any reason, because I haven't had a lot of conversations with other people about it. But I have not heard a strong argument against that in the wild or directly with me. So, but I'm open to hearing other perspectives on that and like understanding that better, like why you would want to do that yourself. Like maybe there is some simplicity to it, like if you manage it yourself and you're okay with taking on that responsibility and risk, then I mean, I'm not going to object to that. If you feel comfortable doing that, then I'm not going to say you shouldn't do that. So there's that. Let me catch up on some chat messages too. Royally says, yes, good. I forgot good is a word. And I'm not saying I hope whoever comes in is a good person, because I've seen way too many toxic, making work annoying. Oh, you mean toxic people come in is what you're saying? You're hoping that nobody toxic comes in? I appreciate that. I hope so too. But I think the likelihood of that happening is low because of the people on the team that I'm on. I think we'll definitely identify that through the interview process and be able to sift through that. Uno says, I'm enjoying Seaweed software engineering in the Ethereum. I haven't heard of SIWE in the Ethereum ecosystem. The private key and public key don't sit on a database. The public key is derived from the private key. I'm not as familiar with that. That's interesting. I'd like to learn more about it though. Rival says, well, that's the point. I don't think there are much on a deep take on security while rolling your own versus a service. I'm sure there's a ton of overlooked security, let alone the fancy features. Yeah. Been a huge web topic lately. Okay, yeah, fair point. Yeah. Okay, I like that. I'm gonna note that as a good video. On rolling your own auth versus using a service like Clerk. Why do you say Clerk, by the way, Rival? I know Clerk is the relatively newcomer on the block. I haven't personally tried it out that much. Actually, I might want to do that now. No, actually, I'm getting close to ending stream here. Reaching my time limit for today. It's the new Vercel hotness, yeah. Well, did you see speaking of hot topics in the community, did you see the I briefly mentioned this at the beginning of the stream, but I saw something in my feed yesterday, I think it was, or the day before, about a new social platform for artists and creators called Kara that got like viral in popularity and like grew by like 500 new users, and then racked up a huge Vercel bill, like $96,000, like crazy. And like I feel like Vercel's getting a lot of heat lately, because I feel like not too long ago there was another story of another app that got popular and then they got hit with the huge bill from Vercel. And so everybody's talking about like, oh, you should be running your own virtual private server or this. Like everybody's being like, I got an answer for you. You're dumb. You shouldn't have done this. And it's like, the fact that it keeps happening is like, I don't think people are dumb, and that's why it's happening. I think it's because there's a lack of transparency and information, I guess. To be a developer, you have to have a fair level of intelligence. And every one of us is susceptible to making mistakes that others think are simple mistakes. I don't care who you are. I don't care how good of a developer you are. There's no way you've not made a mistake in your career. At least once. And there's probably varying levels. I would venture to say there's no way you've at least made a critical mistake in your career. Amon says, isn't making mistakes making us human? Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I think this is probably, I was going to say this is a problem in the developer industry, but I think it's probably in any industry, is the ego. Developers just get such a huge ego. I feel like it's gotten better over the years since when I first got into the industry. And the reason I say that is because when I first got out of college, I had a very strong ego. I'll admit that. Like, I felt very entitled in the sense of like, how do I put this? When I first started my career, I started as an intern, and then I got hired on full time. And like, there was two things that like I was very fortunate in the sense of like I knew exactly what I wanted to do like right out of high school. I knew I wanted to go study software engineering, and I went and studied computer engineering because I figured two things of that. One, that would give me a better experience of learning both hardware and software because I've always had an interest in both, even at a high school. And two, I felt like having that degree is more valuable to a company than just computer science. And I say just like that's a simple thing. So I don't mean to oversimplify that, but like to me, and I still feel this way, like if you know hardware and you know software, like that's a step up above somebody that just knows software, computer science, right? So that's what I felt. But I felt way stronger about that, and that I should be entitled to more, like compensation wise and like things like that early on in my career. And so I had that type of ego too. And I had an ego in the sense of like, I'm an engineer, like look at me, you know? But anyway, so at that point in time, I think there was, maybe I'm being a bit simplified in my perspective, since it's just my point of view on this. But I feel like the more developers I've encountered over the years since then, there's been less and less people that have as strong of an ego of like, I'm the best type of thing. But I might be wrong. I just might have cultivated, I don't know, how do I want to put this? I might have cultivated a vibe about me that would deter people that have a strong ego to want to interact with me, and like invite people that have a more sensible, practical point of view on things to be around me. So maybe that could be factoring in here too. That's what I would hope for. I don't want to deal with people that have strong egos. I don't have time for that, and I'm not going to change them. So there's that. How did I get on this again? Oh, I was talking about being an intern and stuff, I guess, or egos. No. Dang, I lost track of where I was going with this. Shoot. It was the Vercel costing. Oh, yeah. So there's a bunch of developers that are like, oh, I would have done this. I would have never made that mistake. And it's like, I mean, maybe you wouldn't have made that mistake, but you've probably made other stupid mistakes in your career. Get over yourself and quit like laughing at this individual that's going through this stressful situation. It's not helping. I mean, at the same time, they tweeted about it, so they're opening themselves up to that kind of criticism, and they could have just like kept it to themselves or talked privately with Vercel, or I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying they shouldn't have tweeted. I'm just trying to like make sure I give a fair outlook on the whole situation. Like if you put something publicly on the internet, you can damn well expect that somebody's going to say something nasty to you. Especially when it's like a very hot topic like that, right? Why did they rack up the Vercel cost liminal? So, hey, what's up, Lord Killa? I'll get to your message in just a second here. So liminal, what ended up happening was, it was two things. One, it's all speculation too. I don't know the specifics of this. So it's speculation in the sense of like what's been said and shared on Twitter, online. about this, but what I've gathered from it is that two things happened. They didn't have any kind of caching going on for their API requests to some of the Vercel functions. So what happens is Vercel basically acts as a middleman between a client that's using Vercel to host their code and projects, and Lambda functions is one of the things that they offer, right? They offer serverless computation. So if you're not familiar with that, it's basically like, instead of having to pay to rent a full server to host your application and run your code, you can basically say, hey, I need to run this function, and whatever the execution time is, just charge me for that, right? So it's like Vercel Vercel doesn't directly handle it. AWS is doing it in this case because Vercel acts as this middleman. But Vercel offers a subscription or some type of service that will do that for you, and then it essentially runs on AWS Lambda, which is AWS, Amazon Web Services product for serverless functions. Okay, that's a very brief and like simplified explanation of it. If you want me to go more depth on that, I'm happy to do so, but that's what's going on there. So essentially you pay for what you use, and if you have a ton of users all of a sudden and your code is written to hit that function API that you wrote over and over again for every new user, you get 500,000 new users. Well, you know, your CPU time, your utilization in Vercel is whatever the rate that they charge it. I don't know what it is, but it's something actually astronomical that people are like, this is ridiculous, just use AWS directly. That's some of the advice people were like replying about with that. So that's how they invoked a lot of costs there. And one of the ways they could avoided this was two things. Actually, three. One of them I just told you. They could have probably worked with AWS Lambda directly to get a better rate than what Vercel offers. That's one. Two is it sounds like Vercel has a means to being able to cache certain responses for something that's just like, if the API response doesn't change no matter what the user is, they can cache some of that for you and cut down on the CPU utilization going on there. So that's one other solution that they could have taken. And then the third one that I gathered was there's a way via your account with Vercel where you can say, hey, don't ever let my bill go over this X amount for the month. And if it does, just cut off my stuff, like shut it down, right? Which could hurt them, right? Because then that ends up creating a unpleasant user experience for new users that are signing up for this social app as an example, but it would at least save them from a $100,000 bill for the month, right? I'm rounding up there. It was 96,000. So hope that helps answer the question. Let me know. Lord Kilowatt said, totally agree. After publishing my first book, I was the best in my head and stumbled into the comfort zone because I knowed it all. It was a hard awakening, but glad it happened. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing that, Lord Kilowatt. Props to you for being willing to share that information too. You know what I mean? That takes a lot of maturity and I want to say wise. You know, just wise words of sharing that type of thing. So good. Appreciate you doing that. And I'm glad we're on the same page. I feel the same way. It was very hard awakening. It was definitely a huge gut check when I would go to my manager. I'm like, look, I got a computer engineering degree. Why are you not paying me? You know, like that type of thing. And it's like, well, it was a huge gut check in the sense of like understanding the corporate world too, like learning that, you know, companies don't, even if your manager likes you and is like in your favor and wants you to be successful and wants you to give you as much compensation as possible, they can't always do that. There's a lot of political aspects, especially at a big company. There's a lot of politics that play into it, a lot of like negotiating between other leaders because there's X amount of budget that they can give out each year for promotions and pay raises and stuff like that. And so like, I didn't know any of that. And so I was so insulted. I'm like, oh, I have a computer engineering degree. And understandably so, like my mentality was like, I busted, and excuse my language here, but I busted my ass to get that degree. It was hard. My senior year of college was like the toughest year of my life to get through because it was just so stressful and like so time consuming. Like I you know, and like I would constantly look back on that and I'm like, if I could get through that, I can get through whatever it is that I'm going through now. That type of situation is the way I look at it. So I felt, you know, a little understandably like entitled because I busted my ass to do that and I wasn't getting compensated for the amount of work I put in. But again, another gut check. It doesn't matter how much work you put in, you're not always going to get compensated equally to the amount of work you put in, right? The very, very big life lesson I learned out of that. So, Liminal says, that's what I thought. Serverless functions. Yep, exactly. Okay. Are you sending me more softball questions? Is that what's happening right now, Liminal? Man, I need to bring you to all my Q&A sessions. What do we got here? What did I miss in there? Oh, okay. Liminal says sign in with Ethereum. SIWE. I got you. Okay. You can sign in a message with your private key and then authenticate that the owner of the private key signed the message. Oh, interesting. That's cool. Burley says, yeah, and excuse me, I don't have any questions, so I'm mostly lurking. No problem, Burley. That's fine. Appreciate you being here. Rival says, well, that's the point. I don't think there are much on deep take on security while rolling your own. Read that already. It's the new Vercel hotness. It's just big on Twitter and startup ecospace. Oh, that one, yeah, 500K. Imagine being upset at 500K, no downtime, right? Yeah, that's pretty impressive. I don't know if they're upset at that. They're upset. I don't know that they're even upset. I think they were just like, it was a surprise, and it's like, oh shit, how am I gonna pay this now, right? Because if you build, like, for instance, I don't know much about the Kara app other than, like, this is the first I've ever heard of it through this whole hot topic that came up. So I'm assuming it's a free platform. There's no pay thing. You know what I mean? So, like, how are they going to recoup the cost of it? Why do I seem like blurry or like faded out? Does my camera color look faded out, by the way, chat, compared to past? I'll compare the VODs from the previous week. You can't just build software without a cost or build something free. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's fair, some of the reactions to it. But I think, you know, at the same time, we shouldn't pile on to this person who's going through it. We should learn from it and try and support them. Shauna White says, indeed, I deleted all the source code at job 1. I get to tell that story on Monday to interns. Nice, Sean. I'm trying to think, what's some big mistake I've made? One of the big, like, a security mistake I made was, thankfully, it wasn't as impactful, but it could have been. And that was what was scary about it to me. I was debugging a problem, and I was adding logging to things. And there was 2 things that were wrong. One, we were doing it was actually related to auth, okay? We were handling like an auth request via, like, and this was before there were a lot of auth services, I would say, out there. So we were rolling our own, in a sense, okay? And we were letting people log in through this internal tool. And the way we would handle that request from the website to the server is we would send the credentials, the username and password, via a GET request to the server. Those of you that know about that type of thing, you should not be making a GET request to a server with credentials or anything sensitive for that matter, really. And so that's one thing, right? But I was naive to that in the first place. This is hindsight. It's like, oh, duh, you shouldn't be doing that. You should be doing post requests, for one, right? And 2, because I was debugging a problem around this, I was logging everything. And thankfully, this was just in the dev environment that I had this logging turned on. But I managed to log, like, my colleague's username and password. And I was, like, panicking. I was like, oh, shit. Oh, no. Because I'm looking at the logs, and I'm like, wait a minute. This is so-and-so. Oof, who played that sound effects? Nice job. Well played, Rugmat. I managed to log my colleagues' information, and I'm like, all right. And thankfully, they were working on the same project, too. Obviously, they were in the dev environment doing stuff. So they were senior to me. I was very junior at the time. And fortunately, this is how I knew I was like, I have good morals, that type of thing, is like, I immediately, after like coming to the conclusion that I screwed up here, I was like, let me go contact them and tell them. And they were like, okay. And I went and talked to them. And thankfully, they were very gracious. They were like, okay, it's not that big of a deal. Can we, change my password or whatever? And let's just get rid of that log, that type of thing, and delete those logs. And so that's what we did. We worked on that together, and it was a very good learning experience that has stuck with me to this day. several years later, decades later. And fun little caveat to that, or like tangent. I don't think they ended up changing their password. I think they just changed some numbers in it, and that was it. There's that. What else? Speaking of passwords. Oh, that reminds me of another story. We were on a call, same company too, and I think this was a contractor actually that did this. So we're on a call with one of the contractors that we worked with, talking about a project, and I think this guy was just like not paying full attention to the call, and he must have was like copying and pasting his password into something, and he ended up pasting it into the chat room, like the chat of the call, and we were all like just like, and it was a weird password, by the way, like something very inappropriate. I was just like, I didn't say anything to anybody. I just like let that sit out there, and I was just moved on and just went about the rest of my day. I was like, I gotta let that lie there and leave it alone. It was a bad password.
Welcome in and thanks for joining today, Foha_you.
What's up, Foha? Welcome in. Happy to have you here. Thank you for being a first-time chatter. Speaking of first-time chatters, I saw an update about Twitch. Are they getting rid of the whole first-time chat notification thing? Because I feel like that's terrible for them to get rid of that. I like knowing when somebody's coming in and chatting for the first time. You know? I welcome them that way. If I don't... Because like there's sometimes where people will change their username and they're not a first-time chatter. You know what I mean? But it's a new username to me, so I'm like, I don't know who this is, you know? Now I know for sure when it's a first-time chatter or not, right? So, yeah. I'm still catching up on chat, folks. We'll get there. Sean says, indeed, I deleted all the source code. Job 1. I get to tell that story to intern. I read that already. Rival says, I think it was something like 58 million serverless invocations. It was a Vercel cost. Vercel cost? Meaning Vercel ate it? No. I saw Vercel respond to the tweet. At least last I saw. They were like, we'll work with them and figure something out. But I don't think they were going to just, like, forgive the cost, you know? Liminal says, why did they rack up the Vercel costs? Because that's how they were hosting and running their application for this new social platform. I'm jumping in chat a little bit. So I have the most recent chat down below here, and then like where I'm last read up here. I see Liminal says, first time chat serverless function is costing too much with Vercel for Twitch. Well played, well played. Lord Kill-A-Lot, totally agree. After publishing, I read that already. Digital Drummer, hey, good to see you. Welcome back. Digital Drummer says, I'm 25 years into being a dev, and I just ran a script last week that accidentally reset something in our app that caused 140 people to have to go update 800 records. Ouch. I'm sorry about that. But I appreciate you being vulnerable and sharing that with us. It goes to show you. More evidence to people to like check your ego at the door. It doesn't matter how much experience or how smart you are or how skilled you are at being a developer, you're gonna screw up. And the more time that you've gone without a screw up, the more likely you're gonna have a screw up. Just own it. Deal with it. Learn from it. They're great learning experiences, I would say. That's what I've felt so far with all the ones that I've experienced. Rival says they're up to 700,000 users now. Nice. At least the app was fast. Exactly, yeah. If you want to show the tweet, Lee's response. Okay, yeah, let me see. Thanks for getting the tweet, Rival. If Twitter lets me show it without being logged in, that'd be great. Yeah, this is it. Good comms, Rival. Good comms. So yeah, this is it. So freaking speechless right now. Seen many Vercel function stories, but first time experiencing such discrepancy versus request logs. That's the other interesting part, right? If they're logging how many requests that they're having versus what Vercel is reporting, that could be something, right? Like, what is Vercel doing, right? So yeah, I think to me, like the fact that they're saying speechless, this cannot be real. Like, I think they're just in shock. I don't think they're like throwing shade necessarily. Nothing's saying like Vercel, oh, I hate Vercel, they did this to me, that type of thing. You know what I mean? That's not what I'm getting out of it, at least. But I think a lot of people are. Look at this, 2.4 million views. That's definitely a hot topic right now. Phil Carpus, I have to go soon. Thanks for the stream and interesting discussion. See you soon. All right, appreciate it, Phil. Good to see you, buddy. Have a good rest of your Friday and weekend. Sorry, I'm just seeing your message now, just in chat, so you're gone. Sorry. I do look brighter? Yeah. Sean says, I've 100% seen GET request credentials in a paid product and raged. Yep. 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 Lord Killawatt, biggest mistake? Question mark. Funny story. I used Samuel L. Jackson lorem ipsum on some American client's web shop. They were not amused. After a year I met them, they could then laugh about it. Okay. I would laugh at that. I would love that. I would welcome that. Samuel Jackson lorem ipsum. That's not that big of a mistake. This sounds like you just had some uptight clients. That's what I'm hearing, Lord Killawatt. Digital Drummer says it is all about how you fix the screw up. Exactly. To me, I mean, not just related to this, but it's something that I've found that I'm living by is it matters more to me how someone responds to their mistake more so than the mistake they made in the first place. I used to get caught up and be like, how the hell could you make this mistake? Or how could you do this to me? That type of thing. And it's, I don't know, maybe it's just getting older or something, but I'm definitely more of the camp where I prefer to see and judge you based on how you respond in result to the mistake. That tells me way more about somebody than the fact that they made the mistake because of what we just talked about. No matter how skilled you are in like tailored to programming, you're gonna make a mistake no matter how skilled you are. And I think it's better, the earlier on your career, make as many mistakes as possible because you got a little bit more leeway, right? Like everybody knows you're green, you're new. So it's kind of expected, right? You get a little more freedom. And when you're more senior and stuff like that, then it gets a little bit more, there's a little bit more tension for you as an individual if you make a mistake. Like I made a mistake. Actually, I'll tell you a mistake I made recently that thankfully ended up not leading to anything catastrophic again. That PDF.js, I think I talked about this last stream. That PDF.js, this one here. This PDF.js vulnerability that I was researching, I made the dumb mistake, okay? Now, I had some things in my spidey senses, my gut feeling that probably was part of what I think led me to just doing this. But even so, I should never, like, I was letting my guard down essentially in this situation. So what I'm talking about is this. If you're not familiar with this, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but basically the PDF.js library, it's since been patched, okay? It's fixed. But it had a vulnerability in it that would allow someone to send a PDF that has JavaScript code in it that would then get executed for anything that was using PDF.js to render that PDF file, okay? And so I stupidly, after reading through all this, they shared sample PDF files that had this essentially, this code in it that exploited the vulnerability to demonstrate, right? And I didn't think I should probably not download this. I should, like, on my personal machine, on my work machine, on any machine rather, other than an isolated sandboxed environment first. Test it out there, make sure it doesn't have anything other than what we would expect it to have, which is this vulnerability being exploited in this way that just triggers an alert box or whatever, right? I should have done that first, and I didn't. And so I was panicking a bit. I ended up contacting like internal teams and our IT security team and worked with them and told them the situation. They evaluated it and they said, no, you're, thankfully after they evaluated and everything, they're like, no, everything's fine. And then they also informed me that there's stuff on my work machine that would alert me too, and alert them especially if something went wrong. But in any case, I was beside myself that I was like, damn, but what happened was I just got so caught up in like, oh, this is exciting and interesting to me, let me do this. But it goes to show you that even the most, I view myself as a very paranoid and security oriented person. Even with that type of mentality, I still make mistakes around it, Thankfully I catch myself more than I don't, but that's a very recent situation where I failed and made a mistake. as a senior person. And that's a little bit embarrassing to say, considering how much I'm always talking to you all about. Like I said, I'm very, very focused on personal privacy, security, and all that stuff. I made a mistake. So anyway, thankfully you can go and download, I mean, unless the file changed, because they could always change it to something, right? If somebody got access to this website, they can change what this download link points to. But so long as that hasn't changed, you can download this sample proof of concept PDF and use it and try it out yourself. And this updated version from this Rob individual. So there's that. Thank you for the follow, Lord Kill. I appreciate that. So that's one example. Another recent example. Foha says, when I get mad, instead of showing I'm pissed off, I've changed how I handle it. I now just say I peed instead. That's kind of like a dad joke right there, right? A corny dad joke. I like it. You're in the right place, Foha. We need more jokes like that. Sean says, pretty sure I got an email trying to exploit that today. This PDF.js one? No way. Or just any other type of phishing email? Yeah. That's wild. Glad you know about it. Or we're aware of it. All right. Are there any other questions before I start wrapping up the stream? Anything else you all want to talk about? Web security, app security type stuff? I mean, I wasn't going to open it either way. Yeah, I mean, good call, Sean. Definitely good call. If there's anything you take away from PDFs, folks, is be wary of them. In this video that you're going to see on Monday of me going through that research right here that I put my heart and soul into, blood, sweat, and tears, some late night. And the editing team did a fantastic job of making it even more interesting and engaging visually for viewers. You're going to learn all about it, and the takeaway you should get from it is just be very wary of, well, two things. Make sure you update your dependencies, especially if you're depending on PDF.js. And two, be very wary of PDF files. They're used everywhere. I've told you all, like my doctor's office is dealing with PDFs. My kid's school sends PDFs and emails all the damn time, and I don't open up. IRS uses PDFs, you know, who knows what they're using internally to read those PDFs and render them. I hope it's not PDF.js. I hope. And if it is, I hope they update right away. So anyway, that's what's going on. I mean, I wasn't going to open it either. I read that. I think that's it. I think that's all I got. If you all have more questions, stuff like that, feel free to join the Discord. If you need the link to that, you can use the command !Discord in the chat, or go to clarkyo.com/Discord for that direct link. I definitely need to stop streaming right now. My voice is getting a little hoarse on me, more than it was before. So yeah, if you want to talk shop about that stuff, if you have more things that come up while you're, if there's one thing I can kind of plant an idea in your mind or something to think about between now and next stream, is as you're going through your job or your work doing development, and there are security topics that kind of come to mind that you're like, oh, I don't really know the answer to that or whatever, think of me and think to ask me. Either ask in the Discord directly or bring it with you to next stream next Friday. Speaking of, we'll be right back here, twitch.tv/Clarkyo or youtube.com/Clarkyo at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time next Friday, which will be June 14th. Actually, will I be here? Yes, I will be here. It's the following week I will not be here. Following week I'm going to be out. All right, stream. All right, chat. So one more stream before I take a week break, and then so if you want to see me one more time before I take a break, so you don't miss me, tune in next week, 12:30 p.m. Friday, June 14th, either on Twitch or YouTube. All right, folks. All right, this was a good conversation. I appreciate everybody tuning in, hanging out, chatting, bringing questions, bringing your insight and input on things. It gave me a lot to think about, and I have at least 2 video ideas from it. So I thank you very much for that. That's helpful. Because the reason why I'm asking you all is, like, not that I can't think of this stuff on my own, but, like, you know how, like, really quick on the way out here, right? You know how you just get so into the weeds in the thick of something that you know already? You tend to, it's the curse of knowledge. You ever heard that term before? A lot of times it makes it hard for you to see it from, like, a beginner's perspective or somebody that's not as knowledgeable in that topic. And so that's why you really need to get a pulse of things and like ask people outside of that space their thoughts on that topic. I think it's a good exercise for anybody. For anything that you all like, whatever you feel really strongly about, that you're strong in your skills, to like put that in check. Have somebody ask you questions about that to see if you can explain it simply enough that they grok it, for one, right? That's a telltale sign that you really have gotten that down, right? And then two, it also help you for future reference of like, all right, what are some things that you can better explain that other people are not grasping out there that you can put into your own content, that type of thing. So, all right. Sean says, fun fact of the day, most Cessna and small planes like that still use leaded fuel. Interesting. Thanks for that fun fact. I was really needing that. I appreciate it. All right, bye Liminal. Bye everybody. I appreciate you all. I'm going to roll the end credits. We'll go... Oh, we don't have Triple B to raid today. Let's snooze that ad real quick. Thank you. Amon says, thanks. Have a good weekend. You too. You too, Amon. Appreciate it. I don't know if we're going to go raid anybody. If I find somebody, we'll go raid, so stick around for that maybe. Otherwise, have a good rest of your Friday and weekend. I'll see you next week. Think about your wins of the week for next week. Bring them. And thanks again. Enjoy the credits. See you next time. Peace out.